Can we start now?
Yes, you can start.
Thank you very much. Can you tell the Commission your names, please?
My name's Yaya M.S. Dabo.
When and where were you born?
I was born on the 2nd November, 74 at Badibusalekeji.
Can you please give us a brief history of your educational background?
I started Salakenya Primary School from 1982 to 87. Then went to Mohammedan Primary School, 87, 88, where I passed the common entrance. Then went to Armitage High School, 88 to 93. Then from Armitage, I went to Newstra to do my A-levels, 93, 95.
After your A-levels, what did you do?
I went straight to the armed forces.
Can you tell us under what rank you started at the armed forces?
That was sometime in July 1995. I had an advertisement over the radio. I'm looking for officer cadets, and the qualifications were 5 O-levels, including English and mathematics, which I felt I got. Then I applied, and I was called for an interview, and then after going through nitty-gritties, I was declared pass. Then I was selected into the 18 intake.
As officer cadet, correct?
As officer cadet, yes.
Can you please take us through your progression in the army?
Yes, after the officer cadet in 1996, I did the junior insurer cadre course, or senior insurer cadre course in the Gambia here. And I also did the T54 tank course in the Gambia here. Then I proceeded to Ghana in 1996, where I did my young officers course, where I was 96 in Ghana. Then from Ghana, I went to Senegal. I did my counter-operational warfare tactics in Senegal. That was the year exactly. Then from there, I went to, just last year, I went to Nigeria to do my junior diff at the Nigeria Military Academy, or Jaje.
You've given us a brief history of the trainings you've undergone during your career in the military. Can you please give us the promotions that were awarded to you?
Yes, I was promoted to second lieutenant in 1996, then to a full lieutenant in 2000, then to captain in 2004. Then when you got this problem, I delayed for extra 12.5 years. Then I got promoted to Major 2017 in March.
And now you're a Major, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened in 2006?
Yes, 2006. At first I was at Yundum Barracks. One day I visited into the Cham. I don't remember the month exactly.
Sorry, before you proceed into that, what was your role at Yundum Barracks in 2006?
I was the adjutant.
Can you please explain what the role of the adjutant is at that time?
Yes, adjutant is more like administrative secretary for the commanding officer in terms of officers' discipline, in terms of truth feeding, quality, quantity, in terms of the protection of the utilities or the facilities within the barracks, like the arms and ammunition, and any other thing within that unit that directly under your control, and the discipline of officers and soldiers also in your hands. It's like you are implementing. You implement the COs, the command officers' desire or programs, or you make sure these things are obeyed and followed.
So what happened when you were the adjutant in 2006?
Yes, one day I visited Colonel Ducham, shortly when he was promoted, I think so, yes, just to congratulate him in his office. I remember him just pointing at a particular picture, ya James picture, the then president, the key boy didn't do hand in Wolof. I'm sorry about the language. So I thought it was a joke. I didn't take it serious. Whether was the OOD, then you are not trusting anybody who's talking to you about James affair. So I just laughed about it and then went. Then came in March 1st, the commanding officer of 2 Infantry Battalion, Colonel Bayo, then was sent on a short course in America, and I was posted to go and wait for him there. I was there up till the 19th of March. Then when Bayo arrived from that course, then I was reposted back to Yundum to go and then continue as an adjutant. Then up to 21st of March, early morning, then Wasa came to me, Wasa Kamara, in my office, and then told me whether I was briefed by Nduri Cham. I said, no, I'm not yet briefed by Nduri Cham. And then he said he was going to meet you, and then you discuss. I said, can you just tell what's happening? Then he disclosed to me that today we want to take off, we want to do a coup d'etat in this country. So Nduri Cham is said one of his right hands, is you. So let me inform you. And I said, then if it is true and they are ready to do it, I'm really proud of it. Then we agreed. So
at the point when Captain Wasa Kamara told you about a coup they were planning, you knew very well that a coup was illegal at that time, correct?
Perfect, yeah.
Can you proceed?
Yes, then I was there. Shortly, around 9 or 10 in that morning, my wife called, said her sickness relapsed. So I had to take a permission, then go back, or went back to and then so that I can take care of the food on that day because there was nobody who can cook or who could cook. Then I had to go and cook. Then I was there up to around 2:30 when I was almost dishing out. Then Wasa came again to my compound in Bruceville. Then he asked me whether I've met Nduri Cham. I said, not yet. I've not met him yet. And he didn't call me. He said, okay, he's going to meet you. But all the same, I came to give him more briefs. Then he gave me more briefings on what they agreed on. And then also asked me whether I knew where Edward Singate stays.
What kind of briefing did he give you?
Like who were the pillars of that coup, that the planned coup, who is to do what? These are the briefings he gave me.
Go on, please.
Yes, then we ate lunch together, we brewed attire together, up to around 4, then he left. Then that call, to and fro between me and him for some time, when Nduri Cham was never available, up to around 6:30 in the evening. Then when he called me, he said he's coming, he can meet at the main junction of Bruceville turntable. Then I said, okay. Then I went to the main junction at Bruceville turntable to meet him. In fact, he saw me before I saw him. We were expecting him with that GAF 1, that the Pajero. Unfortunately, he came with a smaller vehicle, which I was not expecting. Then he came up to close to me and said, Dabo, jump in, I'm here. Then I jumped into the car. Then he said, where is your compound? I said, in this direction. He said, okay, let's go. Because as we are going up to the Gamgoose Johnson, Old Tabla, just next to my place, he said, okay, no need, we don't have time. I told you I briefed by Wasa, I said, he told me. So he further elaborated on the same things Wasa told me, and then further stressed my role, in that coup, and how much confidence he had on me, then to make this thing successful.
And what was to be your role in the coup?
As my former functions I mentioned, I can easily access the armory and arm the soldiers. And then I could easily convince some of the soldiers who I think could be of use to that coup. And then the airport is within my premises. I can take care of that. Basically, these are the major functions.
Knowing fully well that you were going to be part of an unlawful act, why did you decide to be part of this coup?
Yeah, everybody definitely knew it was unlawful, but It's, the disparate situation calls for disparate actions. Everybody was disparate. You said it or not, civilian, military or servicemen in the Gambia, even outside the Gambia. If you are a Gambian, we are all fed up, tired, frustrated. So the only way a frustrated officer can do or military man can solve his frustration is by the use of weapon. That's all.
Just help us understand that desperation you're talking about.
Yes, these frustrations are numerous. From disappearance, people are just disappearing uncountably. Torture was the order of the day. Lack of respect for human rights was rampant. Corruption was at the peak. So servicemen are suffering more than anybody has been protecting. You are suffering more than everybody, including civilians, journalists, everybody. Every part of society was suffering by then. Then we felt it was wrong, but let's try a chance so that you can just get that man out and then we can move on.
Did you feel at that point that you had a duty to intervene?
Well, it's not per se a duty, legal duty. No, it's not illegal though, but that was the only thing we thought we could have done to sort out the problem persisting in the country. So we thought as military men, that's the only thing we can do to change the system. If we are not going to stay and hang on power, we thought it would have been a better solution. That was our program.
Are you aware of the notion that the military has nothing to do with the internal affairs?
Perfect.
Or the internal regulations of a country with
Perfect.
respect to leadership?
Perfect, yes.
It's a question.
Yes, I'm aware.
And do you buy into that notion?
Yes, 100%.
But at this time when you were planning with your fellow soldiers, you believe that at that point you were doing something right, correct?
Not right.
You knew that you were doing something wrong?
It was wrong, we all knew.
And yet you went
Yes,
with it?
as I told you, it was disparate situation that called for disparate action. So the only thing we could have done was only that.
So tell us what happened afterwards.
Yeah, then after those briefings, he said, okay, I'm rushing to my compound in Burfoot. So I'll be in touch with you. Then by 11 o'clock, the operation starts. I said, okay, sir, no problem. Then I went back. I was there with my family till around 9 or so. I called Wasa to confirm his location, and he said he's at barracks, Union Barracks. Then, as usual, I pick up my few things that I think can be of use to me, put it in my vehicle, drove to Union Barracks. I met Wasa, and then we reconcile certain things that we need to know, that we need to confirm whether they are in place, and they said yes. Then I said, okay, let's move to the first target to see what's happening there first. Then he told me that Nduricham give me somebody's number at the art station who could have helped us at least to disable the communication during the operation, whom we should meet. I said, okay, let's go there and confirm whether this guy is in or not. Then we went to the art station around 9 towards 10. Then Wasa went inside, then came out, and he told me, well, this guy is not here. He has traveled to Senegal. In fact, he's in the ferry coming outside now. So what do we do? I said, well, we have to wait and see. So we are waiting. He told me to go to the guards and then go and join them to brew the attire, to join and bring attire together. I said, no, my AOR or responsibility or my responsibility, if somebody sees me with the guards by this time, can ask a question, why are you here? It was not part of my responsibility. So you can go in as military police commander or OC military police. You have the right to go and patrol any guard post. So you go in, be coming out. So in the environment, while we are waiting. So if things are finalized, then we can move from there. So we are there debating. All around 11, we started calling Duricham, nobody speaking. Bunja, nobody speaking. Perime, nobody speaking. And a host of others who were our seniors. Then I began to suspect something. I said, what? Something is happening. So we are still there contemplating, calling, nobody speaking. So at around 11, you call now, no calls are even going in. And I told Wasa told me, let's go and make sure this place is disabled because we have to move. It's 11 o'clock. I said, wait. You know, naturally, military without a leadership is a failure altogether. So all the leaders we are calling, nobody's answering phone. No phones are even no more going. Who am I operating with? I begin to suspect that something is wrong. Either we have been sold out, or it's leaked, or this were arrested, or something is wrong. So we continue that debate, and let's go. No, we cannot go, we have to wait. In the debate, then immediately I saw a plane around 12, you know, going towards Yundum airport. Then I told him, boy, sorry, yeah, I'm in this plane. See, how do you know? I say, my friend, use your sense. Common sense will tell you, this coup is not a secret anymore. The America, the UKs, the world, Senegal, they all knew about this thing. You know, so who will allow his plane to land in the zone, in a coup d'etat zone? You know, who will think that this is only Jeme? And then if he thinks this is our control, say, no, they cannot be Jeme, we are debating, you know.
So at the point when you saw the plane land and you suspected that it's the former President Jammeh's plane that was landing, yes, that was when you realized that the coup was foiled, correct?
Yes, the suspicion becomes, increased. That definitely something is wrong.
Did you still remain at that place you were when you realized that what you were planning had already failed?
We stayed for some time after debating, then say, okay, let's go to the highway and look at the environment, look at the traffic, what is happening. So if you look at the traffic flow and then the movement of people tell you something is wrong in town. So by the time we reached the highway, we saw Jammeh in that small Hummer short one, led by one bench in front and then short bench at the back. I told him, this is Jammeh in the vehicle. Then he said, wow, that's true. I said, he's the one in this vehicle. And then he passed us. Then what do you do next? I said, well, there's no solution to this. Let's go and wait for our fate. Then say, where do you guys? I'm going home.
Knowing fully well that you were planning something that was unlawful and it had failed.
Yes.
Why did you decide to go home?
Yeah, because even in my speech I mentioned there, I value my parents' life far more than myself, or especially my dad, who was close to 80, my best friend so far. So I knew if I had gone, they would have gone too. They will kill them. I can completely say, not even physically, but the mental torture, psychologically, and the harassment, they couldn't survive it. So I said, let me go home.
Tell us what happened when you arrived home.
Yeah, then I arrived home. Immediately, I took a turn from that highway. Then I close to my compound, so my main gate open. So I was surprised. Then when I entered, immediately I saw my wife standing. I said, what are you doing? He said, boy, since you left here, man, definitely, my mind was not stable. I know what is wrong, but I cannot just sleep. I was just closing the gate. So man, then it's a coup, but he has failed. So she asked me, what is the next step? I said, waiting for them. She said, can't you run away? I said, I'm not going anywhere. I have to wait.
And did they eventually come?
Yes, then I went in, packed my things. Then after some 1 hour or two, I had a knock on my door. And I went to the door to see what was happening there. Then I saw soldiers standing outside. Then I opened the door. Then it was a Staff Sergeant Cisse Swaibu who led the arresting team. And he told me, sir, as I'm speaking to you, you are under arrest. I'm been directed by Langton Tamba to arrest you and take you to Indian barracks.
Who was Langton Tamba at that point?
As at that day, he was the deputy CDS.
Go on.
Yeah, so I said, okay, let me dress up and go. Then Staff Cisse said, well, sir, is it safe for you to get into your house and come out? It might be dangerous for me, or you may come with something different. I said, no, you know me very well. If I want to go, you know how found me here. So just wait, let me dress up. If you don't trust me, follow me inside. I dress up in your presence, and we go. Then finally, he said, okay, I'm waiting, sir. Then I went inside, dressed up in my military green fatigue. Then my wife asked me, I said, they've come to arrest me. Then my mother also had some noise. He came out and said, they've come to arrest me. Then dad was coming. Then as usual, I said, no, nothing. He just want to find out certain things from me, trying to dodge the things from him. But unfortunately, Yes, he understood. Then we
Did
went
they-
out.
My apologies for interrupting. Did they tell you the reason for your arrest at that point?
No, at that time he said no. They said it's to take me to Yundum Barracks. Then when I was moving towards the vehicle, I saw more soldiers. Okay.
Was it normal for, because you said the person that came to arrest you was a staff sergeant, was it normal for a staff sergeant to come arrest
No, that
someone of your caliber then at that time?
That was wrong. It was far my junior, far. So I've been led by an officer, at least a commissioned officer.
So what happened?
Yeah, then I came out as I was going to being escorted to his vehicle. I saw more soldiers jumping around my fence. Then I knew the whole place was surrounded by the arresting party. Then I jumped to his vehicle, then we joined together, then we led, then the escort followed. So up to Burusibi, men ran about. Then he passed towards Sukuda. I said, wait, stop. Then they stopped. What is the problem? So I said, where am I going to? He told me you are going to Indum Barracks, and then now you are passing Indum Barracks. The road going to Indum Barracks. So he was saying, sir, well, let me be honest to you. I'm asked to take you to Mile 2 directly and wait for further orders. I said, what is wrong? He said, there's a coup going on now, and then they say you are part of it. So they said, let me take you to Indum Mile 2 Center Prison directly. Then you wait for further instructions. I said, okay.
Did they produce any warrant for your arrest at that point?
No warrant was produced.
Go.
Yes, then we went straight to Mile 2. Then we entered Mile 2, then I handed over to the prison wardens at the reception. They did their normal thing by searching, trying to extract anything that is within their reach on my body. And then everything was seized, including rings, bangles, wallets, whatever you have. Then I was escorted to security wing, number 5, barefooted, because they said they don't have any shoes for me, and the boots are not allowed to get into that security wing. Then I was escorted like that to the cell. The cell was opened, and then I was put inside and it closed. Then they departed.
When you arrived at Mile 2, were you received by the prison guards?
Yes, I was by prison guards, yes.
And did those guards request for any form of document for your admission into the prison?
Nothing. Not to my knowledge, maybe somewhere, but not that very environment, nothing was requested from them.
So you were taken directly to the security wing?
Yes.
What happened after you were locked inside the cell?
Yeah, like it's a surprise. Then a dark room altogether. Nothing was visible, visible then. Then I called one of the guards, called Mbai. I said, can you please come? I said, okay, can I use my cell? Then he pointed to a found minor small bucket was found inside there with 1.5 liter of oil also, water was also packed there, bottle. Then he said, don't you do that small bottle there, small bucket there? I said, yes, that's your toilet and that's your everything. And then that water there is what you drink, you have to drink from. Nobody comes out here after 7 o'clock,
At what time did you arrive at Mile 2?
So around 12, something like that, 12 after 12 at night.
Midnight or?
Midnight.
Go on.
Then I said, okay. Then I called him, I said, but you can't do this. You are first timers and so on. Then Bay started getting more angry with me. That, what do you expect from us? You do your nonsenses outside, you come here, you expect a VIP treatment. You look at these things you have cost us, we have seized our offs. Everybody's come to 100% now. We cannot even enjoy our offs with our family. So a lot of statements, I said, okay. Then I kept quiet, and I was in that cell like that.
When you arrived at Mile 2 prison, did you meet any other prisoner in the security wing?
Well, the ones I met, according to the information I got later, but the ones you met, you cannot see them because that cell was the biggest cell, somewhere behind, and then as at that time when you are new, you cannot even go around, you cannot even take 2 or 3 steps inside, you're placed within your cell. But after some people started coming there, like Wasa came after about 10 minutes, Bunja, people started, coming in like that.
Can you recall roughly how many detainees were brought into Mile 2 prisons on that very day?
Military were close to 25 to 30 then.
Apart from military detainees, were any other individuals brought into Mile 2 on that day?
Well, maybe, as I told you, but some of them, after some time, I began to know them. But most of them were there, I never knew them before. But civilians were there before, we have been brought that very night, but I couldn't. I think the only prominent somebody I had, I didn't even see, was that, is it farmer Denting? It's a former lawyer, a lady. Like any prominent somebody that comes, you can hear the guards murmuring among themselves, so you can know that somebody has come in.
The first day when you arrived at Mile 2 and you were put in the security wing, can you tell us what was going on in your mind at that point?
Yeah, well, finally, definitely, very little, because as I told you, my concern was those outside, my father, my mother, the kids. But definitely I had made my mind that my time has finished, so I'm going finally. I'm going to die, so all I cared is how the family is going to, fend after me. That's all, without me.
Did anything happen to you on the first day when you arrived at Mile 2?
Nothing.
Can you tell us about your second day in detention?
Yeah, second day, 22nd, I think the whole day was quiet, only the people coming in, more people are coming in, then up to around 11, 12 at night, when a party of the blacks, the junglers came, and then they were led to my cell by jar guide, or one colleague then, with one Mr. SPO Jamme, then came to my cell, then they pointed the cell to them that he is here. Then the cell was open. Then immediately it was open, then I was asked to put my hands behind, and I put my hands behind, I was cuffed. Then I was escorted to the reception outside, where I found two vehicles waiting, these American pickups, yes.
Who were the black or junglers?
These are the killing machines of the former president, Yahya Jammeh. They are the chief torturers, the killers, whatever bad they can do for him, they would have done for him. They are not doing it in the country for him.
Were they part of any security outfit?
If you go by military setup, they are not part of the military. These are forces set up from the military, hand-picked people, and then made a special military, but they are not part of the military setup.
They were military officers, correct?
Yes, and they were picked from there and made this kind of, I don't know, organization, or you got a special unit.
Can you tell us how they operated, since you said they were not part of the military setup?
Yes, I've never worked directly with them, but all I knew, they directly under the president's office, and the orders were directly from the president himself, or through then Solbaji, or somebody close to the top, then, or the presidency, who gave him special tax, and then they carry out those taxes for him.
What happened when these junglers escorted you to the reception area?
Yes, then I came and found these two vehicles waiting, then led by Borakoli, General Borakoli. Then when I came immediately, he said, sir, we want to go to the NIA for interrogation. So try to cooperate with them so they can save your skin. So you can join the first vehicle. That was his own vehicle. Then he went to the other vehicle, because those soldiers or those blacks were almost out of control. They are almost drunk and drugged, out of control. Then he went to arrange them. Then some of those in those around my surroundings started making remarks that the small boys just got to the army yesterday, you got ranks, you got everything, we still want to be presidents, but we will kill you and then fuck your wives, and then a lot of remarks. Then
Can you recall the individuals that were part of the junglers that were insulting you and throwing remarks at you?
Yeah, very few of them, like, because I never worked in the State House. So I know Maliki Jata, I know Korea, I know Sanamanjang, I know Dembo Jaju. These are soldiers who work under me directly. I know those guys. But the rest, I don't know. But all I saw them, they are in their blacks, mask. And then, that's it.
Apart from insulting and taunting you, did they do anything else to you?
Yeah, so that was time I just turn at them, glance at them, just to, try to acknowledge, try to show them that I'm not in for this thing. So that was another offense. All of a sudden, I just saw them jump on me, then they started kicking, mounting, beating, and so forth. Then, but I started on them. What are you fucking doing? You can't do it for my fucking orders. Why are you doing this thing? Then they calmed down a bit. Then Bora came, he said, anybody who touches this guy, I'm going to get the hell out of you. He said, sir, please get into that first vehicle. Then that was how I got my peace a bit of time. Then I got into Bora's vehicle. Then he further warned them that nobody should touch me unless we reach the destination that I'm asked to go to.
And where was this destination?
It was NIA premises.
Sorry, Mr. Witness, let me just confer with Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, do you need interpretation for the...
Any arrangement made for it at all?
No, there was
Do we
none.
need it?
You need it?
No, do we need it?
Not really, because the witness is speaking in English.
But for the audience, for the...
Okay, if you
Country.
need that, then we can wait for like a few minutes for the interpreters to get set for it. Sorry, Mr. Witness. Mr. Chairman has just...
Sorry for that interruption.
It's
but,
okay.
We thought the arrangements were made already.
Sorry, Mr. Witness. The chairman just brought to my attention that we need to make arrangement for interpretation in the local language as you speak.
Okay.
So this time around, you would take it a bit slowly so that the interpreters can get everything you say and interpret it in the language,
Okay.
in the local language. Mr. Interpreter, are we set?
Yes. Yeah, we said.
Great. So we can proceed from where we stopped. That was after being beaten by the junglers, you were led to the NIA, correct?
Matenten kabodameng bring jongla solio liparo kela fo ila nyaton kodia mute utumulo ye samba NIA.
Yes.
What happened when you arrived at the NIA?
Muna kata biral futata NIA.
And we went to the reception. And I was there sitting waiting for them. And two of the soldiers came close to me. Part of these junglers. Pretending to be Mr. Good. And they told me, sir, please cooperate with these guys. To save your skin. Save your skin. Okay. Then I said, but I've told you clearly, I don't know anything about this coup. Then, sir, then you are going to suffer here.
Can you tell us where at the NIA this conversation happened?
Afonye nyindia mo kata NIA la dinkiraju maleto.
At the reception.
And who were the people present then?
Tumo jumanyo lebije.
The junglers, led by Musa Jammeh then.
And Musa Jammeh atala mu ila nyaton koti o watola.
They call the Malia Mungo. Captain Musa Jammeh is late.
Dolia lo Malia Mungo la bare sainteng abantale.
And what did you understand by the advice they were giving you?
Yemune fahamu itelaw ya maroto e kamem foyenu.
I just want to make sure they have done a good job by confirming that this is coup plotters.
Lafta jela dron pour mo ya jako pour mo ya jako itoli ku kendo le ka jako mo ya ko nyinde yi do ku kendo le ke pour kanyin ku de la mutana ke inati ke sondi.
And after that, what happened?
Then they led me to a flower bed.
Narana samba larang dodo flower bed.
Flowers.
Flower alto. Yiri jambol.
Exactly, just between the blocks at the NIA behind.
La koma je NIA la dingira do be je koma je.
Then there I was asked to kneel down.
Jedo e ko nga suji din kumbali ngola.
With my hands still cuffed.
Hanka bi mbulol be sitring.
And then started sending questions.
Jedo ya commencé ka nyininkarol la.
About my, okay.
Sorry, at what point did they cuff your hands?
Just departing from mile 2.
Bring be bola kase bumba mile 2.
Go on, please.
Then they asked me questions
Nyininkarol la.
by my role involvement.
Na dabulo nyin kudeta nyin kono mona munna do koti je.
So I denied I was not involved.
Balanta nyin nako ndata je.
Then as these questions were going on,
Nyininkarol tarta kata.
just somebody just took me from behind.
Modonata nin komala endamfu nin koto komala.
And I fell on my stomach.
Mboyta nin kono kan.
Then these sticks and the old types of material started, beating raining on my body.
Jedo buso narana ka kumase ka kana mbalo kan lipa balo nyasi obenya we kamunta sanji jiyo ka jolankan.
The Musa Jammeh intervened.
Jedo Musa Jammeh narana dabula ko kono.
He said, wait.
Akoy ali batu.
Don't you know this man is going on TV by tomorrow?
Akoy ko falmalo nyim kata television do sama.
So just be careful.
Alal hakilol.
Then I was made to kneel down again.
Jedo inarana nyoy ndin kumbali ngola kotake.
And further questions started coming again.
Inarana damu da kotake nyininkarol la.
I was still denied.
Haninka bimbalanta.
So then this continued for almost 30 to 1 hour.
What were they using to beat you with?
You have sticks, wire coils, you have this trunk, they call it truncheon, I don't know they call it. Hose pipes. Some use their feet, some use their hands. So there was no specific materials used.
Durante je mosafono
How many of them were beating you at the same time?
There are almost 4 to 6 people.
Are you able to recall the individuals that were beating you?
There are only these 3 as I told you. That is Korea, Jaju, Modu Jaju, Sana Manjang. Musa was the conducting officer, Musa Jammeh. He never beat me, definitely.
How about Malik Jatta?
Malik was present, but he said he was not going to beat me because a special thing with Malik.
Malik obeje la be mabere ne barakati tinde libala katun kula dundan natema.
During the time when they were beating you, were there any NIA officers present?
For NIA la du kulalu sotontale menu be maberinje men ya seria.
They might be, but I didn't see them physically.
Asikeno bare munya mambo yikan jaharam.
Because during the statement writing, they'll collect the paper from me, and they will climb up. They come with certain things to be changed or adjusted.
We'll get there gradually. So let's just focus on the beating.
Okay.
So you were beaten for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yes.
And during the course of the beating, you said that Malik, was it Musa Jammeh, cautioned them
Yes.
Musa Jammeh nata diamu ye
that you're supposed to appear on TV.
ko nyimbe fintila television nyatili mulale.
Yes.
Can you tell us what he meant by that?
Afonye itela miraroto atala ukumo koto moment.
Yeah, I came to understand that they trying to avoid to wound me in the areas that can be exposed to the world. To know that this guy has gone through a lot
nada
of
na men kalam da wala mindigo ilafta ka ko lel mabo puru ikana ni abawo ni enfindi telero dunia be kana je ko nyinde ya lipale imaje ya balol barma ilafta ka wala mabo.
One, please.
because Wasak Farin Sanyang
Adum Farin Sanyang
was wounded all over the head.
wa ya da kuma bele barma.
I could remember they refused to show him on TV.
Hakilo nyim muta fanko in balanda ka tandi television of
Only broadcasted on the radio. Only the
ya la
voice.
dia mo don findi di tele radio do radio
I came to
mo
understand that statement.
ngo fahama la ko dole ate Farin Sanyang na ko.
Can you tell us the parts of your body that were being beaten?
Afanye woto itel balo ke kan wato me
After this word of caution from Musa Jammeh,
ke balo min to ma fannu le lipa bari Musa Jammeh o dandala ro kela.
It was virtually from my back directly to the feet. That's only a busy beating.
Nkoto kabo nkoto fo duma odronna ka tarta
When
ko
the face and the stomach, this exposed area we are all avoided.
nyada ani kono bato nyingo be imaoma.
what happened after the beating?
Nenata ke wo liparo kola.
Then I was asked to write this statement.
Jeto inara na foko purunga na kumaka di saferoto.
Was it immediately after the beating that you were asked to write a statement?
Liparo kola wo not ole ko site la kumakan safeta di bang statement.
Yeah, because the beating was like, it was going with what they want me to say, what they want me to know about, you know. So as you go on here, beating for 2 to 5 minutes, or they will stop and ask you questions, and ask you questions. Then after they then ask you now, after that is statement.
Budero kata kakenu nyame wala mnyindi ko katare bude kane be nyini kala ba jabila ni bude minute lulu ya na londi ye nyini ka pour ya kuma kan di saferoto ka wala nyamon ni bude do mandi ya londi ni bude do mandi ya londi ye nyini ka.
Then they asked me to write the statement exactly about what I know about this coup.
Jeto inara na fasila nganna kuma kan di nin saferoto fang ngamel longa ko nyinto menketa kudeta nyina karola.
Then I wrote at first.
Follow nga saferoke.
Then when they read it,
Kabri ya karang.
then they took it to that somebody there, I don't know, at the top.
Ya samba modo e santo mala juma kendi jumala kilimu ya samba e santo.
Then they'll come down. Musa Jammeh himself will take it there and then come down with
Ate Musa Jammeh fangole ka kaito nyin samba ngamen safa samba na ejina nkotenke.
with things to change and adjust.
Wato do ninga jida na saitandi na ko jambe talala wara jambe la falale.
Yeah, so it was going until they were satisfied.
Tarta wala ke kan fo wato men e se wota ko nyindo.
Right, I remember some of the statements still.
Hakilo ba kan kuma kan nyin ngamen di nyin safero na hakilo be dol fangol kanne.
Even Justice Ajim confirmed that they were squeezed in during our trial during the trial at court martial.
Hani jojo nyim van jojo government Justice Ajim o fangol na na kala mutala ko na kitio nyi vijen kono ko de to do kera jele wato men be na kuma kan nyin tala.
You mentioned that while after writing your statement, they would take it to someone upstairs.
Nyinyi mfuko ebe la kumakan safe kan tumo men wati isikaito samba moye santo.
Yes.
And they will come back with several suggestions to be made on the statement.
Ando ni murutanan isa foye dinkiralu dolu menu nyanta falinna men nyanta la fala je anin inyanta dinkira dolu menu bondi la je.
Yes.
Why do you think they were doing that?
Mana ya mera ebe okay kan.
They are trying to collaborate statements.
Ilafta kuma kan nyin tembendi la ka jubi.
One of the statements they showed to me was a Bunjada's statement.
Be kuma kan follow men tandi na membe safari wala bunjada bola kuma kan wodi.
General Sheikh Sekan's statement.
Anin seku sekan na kuma kan nyin safari membe safari.
Wasa Kamara.
Anin wasa kamara fana na kuma kan wodi membe safari.
These are collaborated.
Ka jube ka ninta tembendi fo i tembeta la bang fo mulunta la kuma kan membe je.
Were you shown these statements prior to you writing yours or after you had written your statement?
Nyin yemenu tolu foten wala kumakan safari ngulu menu ye itandila. Yolu itandila le janning itebela kumakan safela bang foela kumakan safari kola lo inata wala kumakan ngulu itandila.
Yeah, during the writing.
Safaro nyi wicho nyin kono la.
They will tell you, look, Bunjada was said this here.
Iba fulen na yanko ya jele bunja jabe ko nying.
But you said this.
Barita ko nying.
So naturally, you have to adjust yourself to be in line with Bunja to at least collaborate.
Or jeto fay finansi la ko la fa do manding yaranto ya falling pour ini nyindo ini bunja tal si nyomura.
Did you do that willingly?
Yo dunke adiyate fangale ka okay bang.
Never.
Ani, Dodo.
The words that were written on your statement, do you believe that those were yours?
Munta kuma kangul men be safari ni law kuma kaunto ila tala ko fangla kuma lembang.
Yeah, false words. Yes.
Kuma kam follow to ha.
False words.
Kuma kam follow.
Forced to do it.
Ye force
le praya ke.
Apart from the junglers,
Sulukola,
were there any other individuals that were coordinating the writing of your statement?
Fomodo lufanal bijele, many alonko, yebulo soto ila kuma kansa fetal to anyanta kela nyami.
It's not directly as I told you.
Man kan yindigi ye bulo soto jele jaharande.
But because the statement as I told you will be edited somewhere. I don't know who were there.
Mako ninga safe ka samba dingira to me alonko wolle kado falling kado tala.
And I've never appeared before a single panel. I've never appeared.
Andun na mang si hani kisi la kafu killing nyati lo na komen ngafo nyame.
After they were satisfied with the content of your statement,
Bring it at a handful, it will sulata kuma kam fasong lumenu la kaboete la carola. Bring it will say water.
Can you tell us what happened?
Then they took me back.
Yemburundi.
And then just to remind me that tomorrow you are going to give your statement on TV.
Kang hakilo bulana nyinna ko ka fanya ko sama hakilo ki sama ibina findila television odole yela kuma kan odi.
So if you deviate from this, more torture is going to follow.
Andong woni nyina yintandi ko ani nyin liparol men bina bulala noma.
Wala mnyenti niyo silo bula mbeli parola fale yen ko taki.
Who was giving you this warning?
Jumala yo dandalaro ludila.
It was Musa Jame.
Musa Jame.
And you believe that if you deviated from the statement, he is going to carry out those threats on you?
Wala mnyenti ako membe safarin kaito bala. Ni nata kuma fo menni wo fatata bitung akawo silandir kumol men fo ke tajire ya munta be nyongole kala.
Yeah, in fact worse.
Wala ma membe jambela wo fangoti.
So what happened afterwards?
Then we were there.
Dartaje.
The 23rd in the morning.
For karoti limonga ninsaba so mandala.
Before the 23rd, my apologies. Were you the only one that was taken to Mile 2 on the 21st at night?
No, there are many. Including Wasa Kamara.
Wasa Kamara be kono.
Farin came 2 days after.
Farin nata tilifula kola.
Bunja
Dabo.
Per Mendi. Savage. Yoro Jallo. Abdukarim Jah. We are many. I could remember.
Do you know if these individuals you've named were also tortured on that first night?
Faya lonko womulu fanalo. Yo tajire akilimole kela wolungo suto bang.
I don't remember where it is same night, but I know everybody was tortured there.
Hakilo ta mudana la fo ulum kilimo suro nyinde bari hakilo amudala ko mobe lipaje.
I remember I even used to exchange medicine with Farin Sanyang.
Hakilo bakang nim Farin Sanyang fanka boro tala nyote male.
Wasa we had to help him. Is it the second or third day to even take bath?
So wasa malon fo tili fulanja fo tili sabanya ka makwele fampuru aheku.
Tell us what happened to you on the second day.
Yeah, that was when we are called in the morning. We took us to the same NIA premises. And we found an organized area Then the GRTS was also there.
nga dingira nu yen samba dingira do me alon ko ya parending kambala nga GRTS mol taraje
I saw Lantom Bontamba was there.
lantom bon tamba fanan taraje
The then IG Usman Sonko was there.
police wala kundon ko nung wo fanan beje Usman Sonko
Then Musa Jammeh was there.
Musa Jammeh fanan beje
With other soldiers, the whole place was compact.
anin sojar kotangol dingira nyim bebe faran ni sojar la tanko bunda molla
Then you sit alone somewhere.
ite damma be sile faye dingira do
Then the rest, the three sides of the table is full up with people, soldiers,
tabulo
everybody.
la fanna sabo bebe faran ni sojar la men be sili nga karanda
And you GRTS crew will focus on you.
GRTS molding will be nyatili ne tele la sila
Camera, sorry, the camera.
woni la camera lo be la camera lon le tele kan silang
Before appearing on camera,
jalnal be finda o camera nyatile ngola
did they say anything to you?
foye fenne foye fulo bang
No, nothing. Only Lantom just greeted me. Dabo, I said, yes, sir.
hani mam fam fonye funding fa naboda naboda lantom boy konton rome kanya konya dabo e be nyaadi ka e be
Apart from Lang Tombong, did anyone say anything else to you from the time you were taken from Maltu prisons to the NIA this second day?
tilifula njaw nyinna na manke lan tombol ni law nyo kondonte fu modo fanan sotontale me kuma foye bang wolungula NIAG
I think the only brief I got was, as I told you, just come and give out your knowledge, involvement, roles in this plan coup or failed coup.
kuma men soto jere men fa yolem nyinti ko re men fa yolem nyinti ko nana yela kuma kan di londo re men lon nyin kudeta me alon ko kudeta bayri ngolen e londo men soto je ina odi
And then maybe the other thing is like they tell you at the end of your statement, just plead to, the president to that is an error, you have regretted, and then you can maybe be pardoned.
andu la kuma kan nyin na labandula ro ka men fo je membe je wala nyinti ko si ay tandi je ko president nyin asiyam fe ko nyin mu filole di menkete bulu atake la kotanke ko la fo ye o keje
Because they said the biggest target was Nduri Cham, who they are looking for.
katun yayin fo je ko ila be men fa de ma ka men ko fa ko ngoti wala nduru chamti
And the president is happy that no blood was shed and nobody was found in action. Nobody was found in your bed, so that shows that we were not committed to it. You are just being baffled by Ndur Cham.
e ko yen tande ko mo mam barma ko nyin kono yemo betare la bungola kono velare la bungol kono bari nduru cham wala keta mode me anan ko wala yal nene kal dun nyin ko kono
So that was all they will tell you.
mo donna ye wala fanya
And what happened after they've told you that they were not interested in you? They were only interested in the kingpin who was Ndur Cham.
say mun na ta ko be ko la briya nyim fana yitande ko atelu banke modi insulata men la fang bak mem mu ko kundon ko ti ndur cham na solo mo le fangti
Then I went ahead and gave out exactly what they were requesting on TV.
ntata santo ngadi lafta men na fem fang ngadi ngofo television auto
The said statement did air on GRTS, correct?
nyim kuma kangolo aliya nyim mem fo ya findindi GRTS le
Yes, ma'am.
ade
The said statement was also aired on the TRRC.
nyim kuma kankele mo fana yo le findindi TRRC jam
That's a portion of it.
munta amanke abeti bare ala fanna do
Yes.
At the end of your statement,
ila kuma kan safari ngo bandulato
can you tell us what you said on TV?
afanye yemune fo nun television nyati lingula
Is to assure the general public that we are not tortured, forced,
kaitan di
coerced.
jamara mano lolo nyindi ko imam liba imam force
We willingly give our statements,
ko nganna kuma kan di nam fangola dunyo kan
and then we hereby looking for, sympathy from the president.
o dalilo kam be fele jambe daniro kala president bulu puru yam fola
That statement you made that you were not forced or coerced to give a confessional statement on TV, was that true?
yo men fo nya ka fo ko imantel force iman lipa andum iman fem dun toluda wo kuma kan me ya fo television to nya wodum to nya le moti ba
That's not true.
manke toñaati.
Why did you then say it on TV that you were not forced or coerced to confess to your involvement in the coup?
Muna dungal nata fo television to ko mali force e mal imam kuma dungali da pour ka fo television to ko andu mali pa fanan ka fo television to ko menketa bitun hanfo nyin kamala nata kumo kum fa wala nyama mune yosa.
There was in two reasons.
Dalila fulale beje.
One is to believe that this can encourage the president to pardon us.
Killing wala nyindi ko wala jikita nyinna ko ninga info hamodu na president wala pura yamfanye.
And then it's next is to save yourself again from harassment because
puru finansi fan imari finansi fan tanka puru de dola.
Because if what they already president is brief already before we put on the TV.
Janning ide mari be findi na television warra president ya kachenda ko nyina fo.
They have done X, Y, and Z.
Ko nyin beki ya ko nyin beki la nyana kamenke.
If it to be otherwise, then you also have your own time with them later.
Ita da ramari nyina ra ko nyin fali nyasi nya do nyama ore ifana be fanjira do karado fanadol.
You're telling us that you gave that statement under duress.
Amunda sala be nyim fo kanko kuma kango ya fu nyine kan ikori wo kan.
Under duress and fear.
Ngadi de tole kono anin silo.
Mr. Chairman, his statement is also part of the individuals that made the confession on Exhibit 70, which was tendered yesterday. Can you tell us what happened after you made this statement on TV?
Sai muna nata ke breali yenyo kuma kan fo television to fa ipareta.
Yeah, then they were all happy, and then I saw you that it will be okay for you.
Be se wota be narna la mol lama ni andi nyina ko abebere ala.
We have driven back to mile 2 again.
Inara na murundi mile 2 kasibumbaro ko tanke.
With the same security wing.
Dingira kilingoto security wing benun damendo.
Was it okay for you after that?
Adum abendete fela bang wokola.
It was never okay with me.
Kana ko manna na so ne ya nteto ko take.
Can you tell us what subsequently happened to you?
Sila mune natake wobe kola.
We were kept in the cells.
Ndar ye murasi loko no je.
Then the torture session continue now.
Budero ni nara na tenten.
It was around the 23rd, something like that, the following day.
Fo abekela karo tilmo ngani sabal di bang osamo.
I remember around the same time again.
Akilo ba kan wati kilimo la kotanke.
They came to my cell again.
Inara na cell or na dingira mbe marali murari ndamen.
When you say same time, that will be around 11 to 12
yeah, exactly, yes.
p.m.
Mola minti ni kos awati kilimo la wala kabo 11 talantan nin kilin kata talantan nin fulo kan.
Then led by the same O2 colleague.
And the O2 colleague kilimo le be nyato.
And then SPO Jamme.
And then SPO Jamme.
And they opened the door.
E bunda ele.
Then the same procedure follow, handcuffed.
Sila kilingo nying o sila kilingo nyama fana yolata kan bulo le
taking me to the reception.
Kan samba ni e kalunda wal jiya damendo.
Now putting another vehicle again to be taken to NIA.
Yembulande morodo kono kotanke kamuru di NIA.
Then we went to the NIA when we arrived at the NIA.
Furarin kola NIA.
Same thing again with the reception.
Ku kilingo nyama folota ila reception ni kamul jiya damendo foloke.
I think that was David, me and Bunja. I think we left together on that day.
David and Bunja and Dolel Tata Ulunginola.
Then when we arrived there,
Sorry, can you take me back a little bit? You said you, Bunja, and who else?
I think me and Bunja, it was on the same day we were taken. That was the second day, I think, my second day of torture, yes.
Thank you.
Then when we have the reception, it was Bunja's stone force.
Bunja followed la wato sita.
Same flower garden behind there.
Garden old komaje flower bedamento.
I was sitting in the reception.
Then
Bunja, I can hear Bunja screaming. Yelling, trying to beg for mercy. To convince them that he was not part of this coup. Yeah, waiting for my turn. Waiting for my turn. So after then Bunja, for 1 hour to 2 hours,
ako bunja tara je montoro wata killing kara fo montoro wata fula
Then he left, he then took me somewhere else.
ya da fanan samba dinkira do
Then they asked me to follow them also.
e kay ko ay bule no ma je fanan
And I followed them to the same place.
ada fanan bulate no dinkira killing moto
So when I reached,
bring a furata
they asked me to kneel down again
ako e kay nyoy akumbali ngola
with my cuff still or in cuff still.
anin kabi abulol be cheniring
And Musa Jame was standing ahead of me
musa jamme be lori nga nyati ngola
and questioned me again.
ba nyinin ka kan kotanke
No Dabo Kunda,
ka kay daba kundanko
Jame Kunda.
jamme ka fanan kay jamme kunda
And he said, please, I don't want you to suffer.
akonye ko dukare malla fiye bata
I know you very well. I know you very well.
akonye ngelo mbakele
So try to just cooperate.
akonye ko kata dron ye ini mole nyomoy
Then I said, I told him I'm not part of this coup.
fanan kay ko nga fo en ko manda man ren kude ta bayri ngoto
At the same time, I gave you all you wanted yesterday.
andon hanin kabbi kunu ngal sulata men namburu nga be dilale
No, we are not asking for that today.
e konye ko hani bi mandraw nyinin kaka
You know you are part of it.
ngalo ne ida ba ko konole
You want the people now, your sponsors, to know your sponsors.
laftalo na silan jumala malla dépenser lade jumala ba
Your
dépenser
weapons hidden.
alla kidol be mabore mintole
You know who are your collaborators,
al nin jumala ba ko nyin kono kafo kam
nationally, internationally.
banko kan jam fo banko e bantala
I said, no idea.
an ko e mallondi soroje
Then by the time I was talking to Musa, kneeling down, concentrating on Musa,
o wato la be diam kam musa be lori nyati lon be nyoyri kumbali ngola
I just heard the knock on my left eye, whether it's still gone, but whatever, I
jedo
don't
nga
even know.
nga ma busaro je nyanye na mara nyato malo fo dokole ma fo kido ne ba malo
And I fell immediately on my stomach,
jedo nata boy kono batoka
and I told him, you've broken my eye.
ko e ko ale nyati nya
And Musa rose up.
jedo musa kiditana
Hey, wait.
ko ali batu
He said, please, that was sit down.
akonye dawo dukare si
So I sat down,
nsita
this eye closed,
ne nya mara nyanyi nga da ataunta
then it started bleeding all over.
commencé te ka yelo bon
Then please tell me what we want so that you can free from this. I don't
ko
want you to
dukare
stay through
afonye
this.
lafita men na malla fi bata
He said, Musa, I've told you all I can do, and there's nothing more I can tell you.
kay musa nga foende nga melong ma fel o ko la ma fellon je ko tanke
Now they suggest names to you, they were suggesting names to me that yes, they were part of it.
sai be tol fo kanje me alon ko itol ko ila miralo wol daba ko nyin kono
I said no connection with them, I don't know.
ko e ko ndemang hani fellon o molla ko don ni madra ku kono
Then this Korea
nyin korea konton
was standing also just directly opposite
ata fanambe lori nyati li nyal do mandi
with nylon bags and plastic bags.
aning boto mbuso
And I hear him more and I can put the price back over my
na
head.
we be ngunun le na ka fa ko ala boto ka kungoda
He was asking whether to put plastic bags on my head.
abe nyinin karo fo asi boto ke non kungoda la ba
And Musa said, you don't need it, don't see his eyes bleeding.
ako jedo musa ko amanjara la foi ma ja nyabe yelo bonkan
And that was how I was lucky into the better part of torch of plastic bag.
jeto ala la de maro kam manana buso ken kungoda pour kana oli
So these beatings will continue almost 1 hour, and then with breaks, questions.
nyim budero ka tenten nak fo montro wata kilinga inana londi ani nyinin karo la kotenke
This time around, what were they using to beat you with?
ñu wato do sila e ke lipa num mum fem façon no lela
Yeah, this time as used as the first one, like wire coils, sticks.
nyim fan nyi sila do fana
Beating.
ko men folo be keta nyamenda buso lem ani nyi ne jolo fo lew
Will pour water on you,
ibina jio sole mari kan
and there is a plastic will melt plastic bag on you.
na buso jani ya yelundi ya so doti kan
Still have those marks on here.
hanin ka bimbalo do dingira do be je nyim buso me ngalo buso
Cigarettes were lit
ka
off on
doti
your
kan
body.
ani sigareto fana isa mala ya fa ibalo bala
Take us through the process. Can you tell us in what position your body was in when they were beating you?
afonyen wato men e ibeti lipa kan wonya ibalo be tembeda jumal
It was just extra pain, I couldn't even feel the beating after all, definitely.
abe
It
dimin
was
kam
too
bagel
painful.
no wati na na sifan ni be liba kam fambuka kalamudam famfe
How were you positioned?
ye sindi nu nyaadi le
This beating you have to decide,
ni liparo ni budero ni ifamale ka ngani fa yebe kala nyame
because they'll just start beating left, right, center. So you want to protect yourself.
ka dunga budero ni damu dal nyasi yo be nyama ni lafta ifana pour ye fan tanka
Normally we tell each other, just go and be on your belly.
wato don kanyo yamara din ka fa ni dara don ibidi kono kan
Let them all take anybody want to take from your back.
lafta dawo dala ko kono isi jeli ba bari
So
bidi
the
kono
face, the stomach, the man with all sensitive areas.
ka don inyada ani kono baro ni nyato be mu dingiral di balo me ko ku mayda bakale
So protect them.
akata yewul tanka
That's normal what you do. When they are pushed, you make sure you just be on your,
ka
on your,
ka
on your
wala
belly.
ke men kad men dal daga ni e nyori do fanan ka kere ye biti kono kan
You mentioned that they will lighten plastic on your body.
yenyum foko e ka nylon buso malale alawo ji yelundingo e ka wole jolongo ikang
Can you tell us how that was done?
yo kenyadi
Yeah, after that, like, it's in stages.
ko kenin wat fannanim fanna ma
After that initial beating,
bidin budere folo nyim botala
now they just what they call the burial party.
dingirado be ka me burial party wala
And
mbade
where you have these coconut palms or trees will be used, palms will be used.
de do tengol le beje ke me alon ko le be ke muna fa wol le wala beje
They will cut, they will trim it.
e ka kuntule
Then 3 of them or 4,
mo fula mo saba fo mo nani
then you lie down flat.
ye la yetiling
Then they will beat you with that till it can't use to beat you again, broken down completely.
o tem fangu buso nyingi ko lata ye mari lipala fa be kating
They cannot be used to beat you anymore.
o fo fike buti ala fo wata me alon ko ite muna fa nola ko take ka mo
Now they
buti
tell you, let's move to the charity house.
sai sa fo ngata e bade ko
And that place, from that place, charity house, also you have to roll.
je fanan do bade ko nyindo de fo ibe mur bir mintin dale
Yeah, that's why rolling this. Korea will take this plus Rambo. Jaju will take these wire coils,
and je fanan do nyi jaju ataka nyi wayalta
stand over you,
ay loy kunto
and it's beating you as you are rolling till the faster you reach that
ale
place.
tar le lipakang ni be bir mintin bi itariata nyame ang
Yeah, the faster you reach there, the lesser pain you get.
itariata ka fure je nyame ka butero nyinga doya kumari bala fe
So at that place, they will take cement blocks,
jeto isina birko blocks bleko da cemento
put it on you,
ya ke kan
start on it.
yesi akan
They start their smoking, their jam, their cigarette.
yesi ak yalandi ka yesi bloko nyinga yesi
Whatever you can remember to touch your individually, you come and do it.
oda jeto sa ita balo no la jumane nywal be lipakando
You also put cigarette on your body.
sikarero fananta ba fale kan ya
Like mine was done by Korea, that lit a nylon plastic bag.
konta kare nyame
on
me
my
aken
these labs here, I remember
korea me aken na busu e wuto kanjam
There's nothing you can do.
ente je simen keno
How were you lying down when they placed the cement block on your body?
Yeah, I was lying down completely all flat on my back.
be larin ko kan
And where did they place the blocks?
yes
They
bloko
put on your chest and sit down there.
yala ni sisole kan ka yesi akan
How many of them sat on your chest?
Only one person.
mo
Only one
killing
person.
mo killing
Who was that person?
That was Jaju.
wala mjajuti
Then now some people are smoking around you, insults, whatever they want to tell you.
jeto mo dol be je ni sikasa be tarde murumurun kan ya fa ikan ani dol be je muru be nenna
And you mentioned that it's there that they they lit the plastic bag and allowed the liquid to drip on your
So
body.
drip on my body. yes.
dinkira kilmo yo nyin naylom botolu malajele ka alaw ji yelundingo jolongo kala
Yeah, I still have the marks here.
an ka
Can
bi
show
yala
it if you
marke wol
want.
be mbalo bala ngudo bala jang
And it's also at that point that they were putting the cigarette butt on your body.
Yeah, on your
telefona moy
body.
ka sika dimba du bengi bala jato bala
Yeah, on your stomach, whatever
Aye.
they can put.
ikono bala
Just
ikono
put it
bato do ani dingira isa keno dame de balo bala
How many of them participated in doing this to you?
yitel mo jelle mabeta pour ka nyin tajire yakela
Yeah, they're between 6 and 8. So
abida fo mo woro mo sey
sometimes just out of blue, you somebody just come and then join.
kaji kajele wato do katara o ke kanata mo do fana e bona mani na na da bulije
It's normally around 4 or 5 sessions are conducted. You are going to be screaming here. You have another somebody screaming somewhere.
kado wato do katara te feje ne wa isa mo do fana be sar urla jana ma fa wala do bonna jay na e kafu nyindo ma fana
Maybe you have somebody hated most. You had is taken to a place. You just leave where you are tortured. and you
asikeno
follow
wato
them.
do mo do katara je do me alon ko ay komba kele ay mo ide urla jana e bo abe dame do ay na e kafu ma ide be dame do ay
There was no
timi
exact number.
numero nomba te je me alon ko isa fo no nyin nangam lam
So at the time you were being tortured, others were also being tortured around you.
amunta bete tajire ya kan wato men iba nyon tajire ya kilimule ke kan dolula karadolula
Yes, you can hear different screams. 3 or 4, everybody screaming all
ka
around.
wuro moy mo saba fo mo
Ina e
nani
compound.
dingira do ena e law sansan kono je nyoka nyola
And it was quite obvious to everyone that somebody was being tortured.
anda ka koy mari mako nyimbe wuri kante ba fanan lipa kan wala nyama
Obvious.
Can you tell us who the NIA director was at that time?
o tembo jumalon NIA la kunton koti la director general
It used to be Daba Maran, but Daba Maran left, I don't know who took over, because immediately we are with the same problem with Daba.
Aketa nung Daba Maran de, but kaben Daba fana problem kolea ko dol soro malan jumal tara ka dun nin Daba be tarta kolea ko killing wala kono.
Do you know who was second in command then?
yalo na jumale simbe daba kan wotu mo abe nyaton kayala
No.
Ani.
Apart from the junglers who participated in your torture,
jongla solu kola menu mabe ta ila o tajire yato be lipala tumume
do you know if any of the NIA operatives also participated in the tortures that were happening around?
fo isibo akala mabang NIA la du kulalu fanalu fo e fanalu dabe o tajire yato le e ka menke molu la je wo sansa onkono
No, I don't.
Malo.
And how long will that torture session last?
wo tajire ya wo liparo ila miraro ta ka wati jelleta
Yeah, it was almost 2 hours at most.
Wato do asita fo montro wati fula.
The first torture happened on the 21st.
Yes.
wo tajire ya folo keta karotil mo ningilim
That was only beating that was involved.
lung amunta e liparo da manneke
The second torture was on the 23rd.
tajire ya flanya on keta karotil mo nin sabo
That was beating,
lung ye liparo ke
waterboarding,
ye jiobongi kan
lighting liquid plastic bag
mina tanyi
in your body,
nylon busolu fanalu malaka jiyelu ndingo bongo balo kan
and also nibbing cigarette butts on your body.
andu ka sikar dimba fananta ka fa ibala jato bala
How about another occasion when you were tortured at the NIA?
fusila do fanan sorondale ye itajire ya wonyama NIA
Yes, it was in April.
April karo kono lem.
One day also,
Ili lunna na soronda.
they picked me,
Yenta
and the normal protocols as usual,
comme delta ka keni nyame silo nyame ne kamenta.
took me to the NIA.
Yen samba NIA la cordado.
But this time there was this big dark room.
Nyin tembe nyin sila do mo bumba bum dibiring dolam.
Yeah, we just came at the gate,
Nata bundado.
at the door, sorry.
Bundado.
They just push you inside.
Ike nyori la bungo nyin dado ron.
You just hear beating left, right, center. You don't know.
Ye
what's
du
beating.
nyori o bungo nyin kono dron isa isi budero so je iba budero kane kam bulba mara.
Any type of thing, you just had the beating, but left, right, so you're gonna come out.
Libaro budero si va be anu ike muna fan nim fengo si joran si va be la bulba mara.
I had definitely know there was no choice for me to get out of this place.
Yedo nara longo ye jande fere tanye jam purunga findi kanano nyin lingirado.
Then I pretended I was motionless.
Jedo nara na fang bitandi ko kom mantram fambu ncirudale.
And that was time they stopped.
Wato la mi bulolo
Then they took me outside.
yem findi ndi banta.
Then they start questioning again.
Ida ya nara na damu da ko ka nyininka.
But the problem is for them to make sure I give names who were part of this
Baru
group.
ko kole yare ngom men wala mi ko to lafta la prundinga toldi me alon ko to lafta wala ka fo yow moy ka fo nyilla da ba ko nyin kono.
Yeah, and then some of these pictures also, I was made to understand we are sent to Yaya Jame directly.
Andu njik nga nyim natalo dol fawol be jan la nga kalamuda ko kay ki Yaya Jammeh ne.
What pictures are you referring to that were sent to Yaya Jammeh?
e kan tal jumala fota e kamenu ki Yaya Jammeh
The torture sessions.
Wala buteri wato nyin wato men butero be kering ay ka natalle.
Are you saying that during the torture sessions, some were taking pictures of you being tortured?
iko elafta fala ko wo bute rolu be ke kan tumo men na dolu katara jele men be natali rola
Yes, tortures and even videos.
Hani
Pictures and videos, sorry.
natalo nim video fanu ka tale butero wi nyin kono.
I came to know about this by one Korea, Sang Korea.
Ngai long mo kilim ngai londo soto mo kilim de gafme Sankoria.
He came to mile 2,
Anata kasi bumbaro
written by Yaya Jame himself.
anu Yaya Jammeh fawla de fana nati je.
And he was among the good books in this jungle as before.
Anda de fana mo molde me alon ko ananta da Yaya Jammeh la mo kendol ko men mu nyin jongulalde.
He was explaining one day when they were at the Marina Gate.
Ako abnana ba fo kanye lungo dol nanda wato be marina bundado.
And these pictures we are sent and videos we have been played in Yajamis when he was roasting goat or with them or grilling with them.
Ako wotumo ibe basu bujanola ya jamme famo be sirin bitu wotumo le be nyinna talol ni video lu itandika.
So some of the pictures or the video will see it and then take one and put in the mouth and bam, then he start laughing. These bastard, very good. We're celebrating with them. I'm very happy with this. Very good.
Akondu ubeke kantu momena wakata lebe basu bunyimo la isi basu bota ya duri da kono iba nyimi kaye kaka si mari neng ka foko nyine bete ata marito.
So that by I said we were looking at this. Yes, we were watching some of your videos, some of your pictures. You're shouting, your wounds, the way we are suffering. We are seeing some of these pictures we are sent to him, and then he enjoy it.
Ako yenye mfoko tonyala ngao video ni wanatalo lujele ndu nka jubele wotembo atakake kuti menka molu sewo je wotumo.
You're telling the commission that your torture sessions were recorded.
Amunde binyi mfoka commission enko ibali tajire ya kantu momena ikawulu be record le kata video to
sent to the former president Yaya Jammeh,
ki president koto ya utuma be president Yaya Jammeh,
who will celebrate and laugh at the fact that you were being tortured.
Menka wo kidimandi ka jele kala sewo itande ko ibatel tajire ya kan.
Yes.
How did you feel when you got this information?
Yata nyadi le bire nyin kibaro foye.
I felt we were doomed as a country. If a whole head of state cannot is celebrating his sovereign.
Ni banku nyaton ko fon kasi akasewo ala banku dingulula masibola.
Then we are all finished.
Woto mbandale tinyaro ketale ntutale.
You've told us about the torture meted on you in April when you were pushed into a dark room. And several people were beating you and you could not escape from that room till you had to pretend to collapse. That was when they left you.
Ko April karokono liparoke wo kola inate samba bunkono mo jamabe wo bummen kono hanfo ye idundi je bar wolun inate fankele ko momen ketuta momen yalonko amantara afango sawo hanfo inate samba wo bunkono dolo fanale bedame.
Who were the individuals that were beating you? That is, if you know.
Natara yalon wolun jumanyo le lipa.
These three guys I mentioned, as I told you, with my knowledge about junglers are very few.
Nani mosa bolumen foten kadu ndela londo jongla sol la karola mansia back.
Yeah, these are the Jaju, Rambo.
Ako Jaju ka fame Rambo. Sanamanjang.
And Korea.
And Korea.
I know these three.
Nani mosa bolelo.
But they are around 6 or more.
Ako bari bije membitalan fo mo woro wala men si siawti.
Most of them they are in their this mass, so I never work with them.
Aduni bo kala jama bije ka maskole dung aduni man do ko kanu nyokam fang folot.
But these three I knew them before even I personally transferred them to state guy when I was in adjutant.
Ko bari ni mosa bolu ngelon ne katu watu mebe saundila kata state house to mombe adjutant yala.
Including Malik.
Kata abula Malik fangola.
Malik Jata. Yeah.
Malik Jata.
Can you tell us the kind of injuries you suffered from this torture session you went through?
Afanya yemu mbarama fason jumanyol le soto. Wo tajire yako no yemenkela nunje.
Yeah, my whole body was just in shit.
Balo be nin tarani alhala jawola.
I have marks all over my back.
Nkoko no be di baramata.
My worst was my eye.
Mem fa jawara wala munyati.
Yeah, up till now this cannot go more than 25 minutes. Left eye.
Ninkabi nya abukalu la jamfari ngoje.
Left eye.
Ne maranya.
So I had a lot of medication on that one definitely.
Buru jaral jamala soto wala karola to nya.
And there's nothing you can do about it as of now. I have to enjoy it that way.
Futa jembe menkeno la wala kuota usainte mfunsa amuta wanyama drum follow.
And then the plastic masks are also still with me. The melting plastic masks are still in my body.
Buso nyimfana kamemala kamenjio dotinka hanika marka we dolbe mbalo fa mbalale.
Yeah, but some of these other slices have gone now because of time.
Bar mo dolbe jemian go ben kokon wolbe ibe yeman kanne watini wati.
After this torture session in April,
biri nyin tajire ya butala April karo kono
Were you tortured again?
fo ina ta muruna ne kota ke tajire ya
Yes, I had one more final one in May.
na do fanan soto me karo kono
That was, I don't remember the exact date.
hakilo ta muta lungo nyim fango nyi
But this was another worst session for me.
nyim fanan keta bude ri jawo dole do lungo nyim fanan na
This medical government, Tamboto, I don't know, this long bag that he put granite in, a long one.
the 100 kilo bag
No, longer than that. Tamboto. You can help us, Manika Count.
Tamboto ngamere wolem
yes
He said this long one they put in granite in Tamboto.
wolem Tamboto wolem
It's longer than this 100 bag, 100 kilo.
okay that's the 120 kilo
Yeah, okay, got take him kono.
wolem
Yeah, so that was the day they will put it into that also.
wolongo le yambula o boto bag nyim fanan kono
I did.
ya city
Then they put a winch.
inana na newo keje
They winch me.
e julo keje ya city ye sil ni sando
Yeah, then the same then as I told everything, if you just go and beat.
je do momo binala do ye libaroke momo adiara momo ena ya libaroke
Then this controller will deliberately lose it to come down. You are just on your
je do
back.
meme marle nyi julo nyi na sando abe julo nyi firinal do yana na kana na ye jolonduma
So on the floor, then all you can hear is a laughter for it.
je do le
amunda ke den len kole la ye den santu ni ye lipa foy pareta ye len ko boto nyim bala ye jolon na
Ka free le, I got a juro le bala. They lose it, then you come
and fall down.
without a control. Then you just bang on the floor, then all you can hear is a laughter.
amunda bitu ne yo julo firang ye boy nan duma ni boyta itelesi ye jele
Some people say it's good landing and all those rubbish they used to say.
lolu safa ko ala boynya nyimmalom bitu kuma kalantangol wisi kontine ka
But
wolo
has really give me a back problem then in 0 mile 2.
akondu wonata ko dimi ngodi ala wato me abe mile 2
But thank God is improving very well.
akobari ala tentu abe fisia kanne kende kede
Where will this, when you're put in a sack, where would you usually be tied up?
Back.
ne ke
You
obo
are inside completely. There's no place for you to breathe. But normally, this kind of bag has bigger holes. You can breathe in, no problem. You can breathe in.
amunta nyimu boto balti me yalon ko ay solu soto ne ka kono fana hanni ya dasiti ikeni jinole
You can still breathe in.
You mentioned a controller.
yem mo foko mem marata kulula
Can you tell us about that?
So fana fono moli
Like a winch, somebody will roll it, you go up.
munta len ko doro mole ka atromondo pour
If you
ka
want to leave,
isele
you just leave that hand, then naturally it feeds itself. Then you go
bulo
down.
men kalen ko nyin wine ka selendi santo akawo bulo le bula dron anim bori baye frim ye jolon na
Come like a stone.
e ka jolon na ne ko bero
And you also mentioned that even while in that sack, they were beating you.
ya fakote so ko hani wato be boto kono bare container kallipa
Continuously, yes.
wo bukada e ka continue le dron ke lipa
Can you tell us what that is, if you know what they were using to beat you with while you were tied up in the sack?
am fo sa fono moli ni atara yallonne be muneta kanu kallipa wato minne be sitrim boto kono
Definitely, I could feel the same things, these wires, sticks, and everything.
ako nka men tambalo bala dron wolem ateo waya kilingulu ani lipar lan kotangulu dalta men nutala
And how long did that session last?
la woli paro ni tata fo wucha jelu
Yeah, it's almost close to 1 hour because, as I told you, these are done with breaks. They will you down, laugh over things till you are satisfied, and they are winch again.
nyin kata le fo mondoro wati kile ni lipar wa han fo wati la
In fact, like it
ye
was-
daha ye lo ye jele wo kola kota ke ye na
I think that was for entertainment. Well, there was no thing like, why am I there? Nobody could ask me a question anymore. It was just to make sure I'm maltreated. That's all.
amunda itelbe nyin ibe sewo le takang amunda ibe fan sewo ndikande kato tembo nyin kar mannake bitunga munta ka kenyina kamadoron purka nyin mari ngaibe ka jarabi ka mantora
After this beating in May,
birinyi
kabiri nyim li paro ni bota je me karo kono
were you ever tortured again?
inatene li pale kotake
No.
ani
Can you tell us about the tortures meted out on your fellow detainees?
silang fo sa fono moli ni li paro le minke mo nyolo ni mimbe muto kono
I remember Pierre Mendes was, I thought it was the worst at first. Everybody thought his was the worst.
Kadunga mira permendita wasangala tabake kadumbe mira ko atilela liparo jawyata ntulbetati.
The winching and together about started with him.
Kadu kamodeng lemkola ka wine seleka selendisando ya follow atelela.
Then he was electrocuted around.
Inata mas kurangola.
And still, up till now, because very close to me, you can show me the areas.
You don't go into much details, please. Just state the conditions without going into much details.
Anima abe sata fa ni akita bulunya mendrong iti danko ya fodre mine kala.
Yeah, because I could remember even walking was a problem. You have to combinedly be helping him. Anybody who has the 5 minutes chance in that time, you go there, help him to take bath or try to massage him.
Akwa hakilo ya matako itelefongo luka amako tumodo luna bite kula iteleka amako ya iteku tumodo itelefongo luka balo nyabu.
I was the one, this boy called Alfuseni Jamme.
Ako mobije ka fome Alfuseni Jamme.
He was also detained by Yajame for 7 years.
Ya Jamme le yo financing DJ sanji worowula.
They are going to court.
Abita amanta kitola.
He was working with the prison guards.
Atening prison kasola kantala le fombe do kola.
He has some privilege to stay out for a certain time.
Silo diatela ka akatara banta hanfo wato dolu.
It was very helpful, definitely.
Akata muliti menkata makoirla batije.
He was going around buying these balm and other sherbet and other things for us.
Atele kata kamurumurung ka ventilator sang aninse tulo kaonati tuliye.
Smuggled some hot water inside for us.
Asi jikando fana nunto nati tulufanalia konotoje.
Then he picks cells who are suffering more than to help them, massage them to have some relief.
Ando akaselo lunyala tombone menu batata baba bake be selo lumenu kono asa kata ayedungo mario lukang kate balo nyabu ke makoy.
Yeah, Farinsa and the same thing.
Ko Farinsa nyam fana ngonyakeli ngonyale.
So he almost soaked in the head was almost soaked in blood.
Akumo be fongo sinanta yelola.
You can see clearly he was bleeding all over the body.
Fongo kajele ko yelobe bokang balodula beto.
Wasa Kamara head was swollen because he was, as he said, he was just being taken and then knocked against the wall like a ram.
Akoeka wasap Kamara kajela akumo fongo funutale katu molu sotonta meni ya muda ka akumo fadi bumbalola ko eka sajolu kumo kanyota kinyamin ula na akumo funuta.
Bunja Dabo broken hand completely.
Bunja Dabo yobulo katile fereng.
This guy Ibulo, the same thing, simple fracture and a fracture on the same leg.
Ibulo yo singo kati wokola asingo nata bofana choko bota.
So before even he was taken away, then he couldn't even walk.
Akoja ni babo ndila je kasamba bukani tamano fango.
Staff Sergeant Kor was not seeing at all.
Staff Sergeant Koro amunta wala jero mutatela bukani je no fere.
We are completely closed.
Anyalu be mume obitita.
So a lot.
Kwa nyonjama kujama.
All these tortures, as far as you can recall, where were they conducted?
Sila ntaji nitaya mimbe keta muntole.
All these things we are done at NI premises.
Imbe keta NI la kordal le kono.
Except for Bunja's broken hand.
Na manke Bunjala bulukato nyinti.
I don't know exactly, but I saw him with broken hand fluent day.
Malo keta da mengude fereng baribitu asomo lo nga bulukatire ngoji.
Do you know if the NIA protested or did anything to stop these tortures that were happening within their premises?
For isibu kala mako.
Foi sa fono kom NIA kabrin be ngin kol ke kanyu molla e balantale walla e manyal ki katandila ko e monya na ngin ko se fala la alkan.
No, I have never heard about that.
Ani nena mamoy.
Were you at any point charged with any offense?
Silanga atolu in ite inane ye 2 million kom ye lualetinya.
Yes, we are charged with 4 counts, they say.
Ye ntumi amunta tumiri nani lela.
Tell us about the charges that were made against you.
Tumirol fo yal 2 million.
When were you charged after you were arrested?
What yal yete charge what jumale kabrin ye mutaring kola.
I won't remember that now.
Hakilote o mutano la sai.
I remember we went to the High Court.
hakilo
Was in
bakande
Banjul.
intata high court Banjul.
Then, I don't know, it was around, I don't remember exactly, but we were asked to, the court was not, I cannot go through, we are discharged, and then we went to a court martial again the following year.
bari hakilo bakanko kiti bunda wenna kito nyimbaile ye mbula bari bitum sanaka natan samba sojar kiti bunda la court martial.
Were you charged prior to being tortured the third or fourth time?
yali charge le jandingi ba lipala sabanjango la wala nani njango lipar sabanjango lipar nani njango.
I think this is all after the torture thing. We spent close to 90 days before we went to court.
Imbe tajire ya nyin kolalo liparolu kolalo nyendi kar ngamera ning hakilo mambo nga anya tata la han fotil tanko non to nyong janni mbita kitola.
You said the matter was transferred to the court martial.
Ko nata nyin kito nyin samba court martial sojarol la kito bla.
Were you represented during your court case?
Silangi lawyer sotole millote wato mini be kiti ndika.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your trial?
Silangala ila kito ko fonyema tata nyame.
The court martial?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we are to go to court martial.
Yang samba sojar kito la court martial.
Court started.
Ito damu data.
But we are all saying that we are coerced, forced to make those statements.
Rembe nyina foko yem forcer le kumakango dunda pour ka kumakango londi menkata o statement olti.
And therefore our lawyers went in for voir dire.
Ito na lawyer be nyina batukan kiti be kiti kono.
And that started.
And nata dati.
That's where I have my witnesses that came there.
Nana sedo lu soto menu nata je.
Including a doctor who even attended to me, a Nigerian TA.
And Dr. Ofan Vijay me alonko Nigeria no la jara lalo moti.
With the eye clinic.
And kata hanfo nyajara bunda nyimfangola.
I think that sparked an alarm within the system.
Ngamera wonata ke fanali silandir bundati ila kulu kono.
And guide led a team.
Bitun guide la kafo ay nyaton kaya.
Omar Koli then, Owan Koli.
Kafa Omar Koli
Move from hospital to hospital.
Akata makabolo bitani katalo bitani.
Into clinic.
Kata ila bujara blalto.
And then tell that anybody who has a single document sent to this court martial or anybody who appeared.
Kafo yenko muwumundi ye kaiti fintindi kakinyi sojar kitoto wala muwumundi nata finti kataje sede yarola.
My friend, it's better you leave the country or you are finished.
Membe bete alete mari fede yebanko bula wala itabanta.
And this resulted to nobody wanted to come and witness anymore.
Jina ya sabu hanfo silang sede manna soto mensina muruna kana sede yarola je.
Are you telling the commission that Omar Koli led a team of soldiers to intimidate possible witnesses for your voir dire?
Yes.
Sai akamata ko ite mi fakan commissioner ja wolon Omar Koli ate nyin ka fo nyin nyaton kaya kata mol normal putano to ke silandi pour mo kana na CDRO di ñu voir dire ko woto.
Yes.
How did you know about that,
Ite
given
nyi
that
lo
you
nyaadi.
were in prison at that time?
Nyaji be wato ite be kasol to mal tu wato.
During the trial, I went to RVT.
Kito kono ntata banyun loptani bato.
A friend of mine, Sirif No Trawale,
Nteri biye ka fo me sirfu ndingu trawale.
was working with the eye clinic.
Abe jara rola nya jara bunda la no
We
wotumo.
did childhood together, we are so close.
Nga dindi yake nyokanne andun katata nyola no wotumo.
And I started blaming him, why didn't he come out to be a second witness to the Nigerian TA, who is a foreigner?
Ngada muta purka doya ka fay munana imanna sede yaro la Nigeria no memu luntangoti wonata finti dame.
He told me that Jagad came here with a lot of other soldiers, NIAs.
Ay nyim fanyan ko jagaid ni sojar jamana ta jang aning NIA ulu.
That anybody who produces a single document for this court martial
Ka foko mo womondi hani kaiti kunto fintindi nyin sojar kito kama kake sedoti
much more appearing there as a witness,
sako ni mari fango kumuna ta je kake sedoti
then he better leave this country.
woto e banko bula.
So the threats are too much that nobody was willing to do it.
amunta silandirolu sembo warata wala nata mulu kijo boy manna son kana sede yaro
But that TA was giving, the 36 hours notice, was 72. I remember that, to leave this country.
wo Nigeria no men fawnata o sede yaro la ngamere tili sababu chewle diala pray Gambia banko bula
And she left.
andunga tata ayota saita.
Can you recall the name of the TA?
Oti nying hakilo se bulatola.
I don't remember.
hakilo mamuta no nyinatale.
Maybe if you list it out, lawyers, they have the file, or in RVT, then 2006, again T at I clinic, they can give the name. It's a tough lady, tall guy.
Ni na lawyer lo nyinin katuma ndolu kaitolo betarla wolu bulle wala hani banyun loptani ba ila nyajara dinkirato ulubato lo nakatu mo balabalo mjanga ma do ko ke nyajara bundato no banyun loptani bato.
And you mentioned that she's female.
Yes, she's a female.
Musolem.
Did she finish her evidence before being given 72 hours to leave the country?
Ala sede yaro aya banne kadi janding be wato de la ko tili janding tili saba anyanta bola ngim bankoka.
Yes, she finished everything.
Aya be banne.
Well, in fact, she was lucky that she was coming and decided to go direct to the court martial instead of going to Banjul, because I was able to understand that there was an ambush for him to be taken back to not to be allowed to come and witness if he was caught on the way coming. But unfortunately, she came direct to the court martial.
Menketa la manta bengoti amanta Banjul anata sojar kiti bundale la dorong direct akabwa ala dinkirato kana kiti bundato nata tanu Banjul nata nyimfahamu ko yelanya kayen ne silo kan pour nyanta boyla kan damen ka muta ndu niyo ketanu atinano la sede yarola.
How did you know about the ambush?
It was after people will speak to you what happened, that when this thing happened, when your witness came, the alarm in the system, and then when, in fact, before her appearance, my lawyer was giving witness that who was going to testify tomorrow.
Ning kuota mbita molu kadiamule menu keta molu kasile kafo yo andunga kuonyi mfonkono molu kakulu kachala na loya fongo tumandulu fongo inata kibaro diela hanfo ndefo inata foko ni lunkari mobina sede yaro la janne nyin koluto.
So during the court martial, you can hear them, regretting why that guy came, and then somebody was sent to go and then get ambushed him, but unfortunately he never went to Banjul on that day. He just came to the court martial directly.
Hani kito nyi wuche okono eketelu fanglu mwele be diam la kela nimiso itandi munan na nyi mamuso nata sede yaro la je ani fo fanglu da nyi foko wokola inata lanya parendi akama Banjul silo kam men nata ke amari la manta bengoti dorong amanta Banjul.
Apart from this particular incident, was there any other peculiar incident that occurred during the trial?
Yes, I remember even Ajim was one of those conspiring with the DPP to put us in that trouble.
Hakilo ya mutako hani Ajim ate famu moleti menin DPP be lari nyokan ka ferocity pour kante lakulu jawyandi kandundi mantoro kono.
So there's a section in Armed Forces Regulation.
Dinkirabi je sojaro la sarto lu kono.
That said, voir dire is not accepted in court martial.
Me nyim foko kiti be kiti kono amanya natarla sojaro la kiti bundala.
When our guys throw in this motion,
bari biri yo kango dundi kolu kono,
and the DPP couldn't counter, he just had to accept.
DPP mambalano asontala ledro.
Ajim telling him that next time go do your homework properly.
Hanufo Ajim kafaye sila kota ngo enyanta ifansu miraro kela duko ke anyam.
Yeah, because section X
katu nyindinkira kari section X.
And this regulation doesn't allow voir dire. If you had quoted this, I would have thrown the case out.
Ne wo bukason kiti be kiti kono nyinkuolo to niyo fonu njuna mbakito nyimbaila lenu.
This was already after the trial, within trial was allowed, correct?
It was during the addressing of the trial within trial to start.
Motion
from our own defense counsel to start trial within trial.
It was?
motion olom
amunda kanne mu me ya lonko na lawyer la ludla pour kiti be kiti kono anyanta kala nyami.
Because of that, you felt that the judge advocate was conspiring against you people as well.
Kamunta ko wala yatina ite amera ko nyinjojo nying aning atol be nyokande.
Yes, because that same section was used during the address and in the judgment that was quoted by the same Ajim, and he was being directed. DDP quoted the same section during the address. The same court section was used throughout the voir dire.
Amunta teo section killing of fana killing yole tamandi kiti be kiti kono uche onyin kono hanufo hani DPP fanga la kumakangolo kono atamata okisila killing la yo kumakilling le foje.
Who was the counsel representing you during your court martial case?
Jumale mala loyati mimbe nung lori ngatuli watu minal balna court martial keka.
This is Mrs. Wada Sise and Bori Ture.
Mrs. Wada Sise and Bori Ture wole muntola loyati ntela loyalty no.
Did anything happen with respect to your counsels during the case?
Foku ketale alla counsel ko rawato mina bingin case ngin fenke kan.
Yes, our vehicle was broken into.
Ye namoto kati da ya dundako no.
Sorry, the translation is yala moto kati.
Her vehicle was
moto yole kati dundako no.
And all these files, these voir and other documents, these medical documents were all stolen away.
Bito ala file lu anin kaito lu mene alon ko eketa nyin jaral kaito ti anin kitibe kite kono kaito lu yewlu be sunya moto kono wolunne.
Then becomes like a threat as a woman.
Andong anatake silanda koti wairate mumusoleti.
He has to invite Bori to join her.
Anata fereke purumos Borisi kafuama.
Yeah.
She continued with the case even after her vehicle was broken into.
Yes, he continued, but invited Bori to join her.
Continued, but I Bori kumandi puro sikafuama kito nyinkono.
Do you think that that incident was linked to your case?
Yes.
So you feel that it was because of your case that her vehicle was broken into and all the documents were taken away?
So it is not a ko alla case la kula ne yala moto nyintinya ani mfana inata nkaitol be bondi moto kono.
Yes. Because medical evidence are the most important documents, very valid ones in the court, and they have proven that I was tortured seriously by a medical professional doctor in that area.
O kaitol mu kaiti kuma baleti sede yaro la karola usako o lopitan kaitol o jara lan kaitol kato hani doctor o men fa nyaajara ra doctor o nyin hana e kul men safe wol be mu sede bambande ngol leti men yalon ko isi itandi non.
And what happened with the case?
Sila mune natake alla case la.
We are found guilty.
Amunta ko loi yentol mutale.
And they sentenced to life, some of us 25, some 10.
Bitung ye dolu sorong isi oto, ye dolu sorong sanji muani lulu, ye dolu sorong sanji tang.
After your sentence, can you tell us what happened in 2010?
2010 sangola.
2010, then there was the so-called appeal cases. They said they were trying to reduce at the courts.
Wala kata kiti sain kangolti ye menufo ko ilafte talala le kiti bundala.
Let me read from your statement so as to guide you. You mentioned that in 2010, Langton Bongtamba and General Sajo Fofana were arrested and brought in Mile 2.
Langton Bongtamba and General Sajo Fofana. You all fana muta ke nati Mile 2?
Yes.
Can you tell us in connection to what exactly they were arrested and brought to Mile 2?
Silang fesa funo muli tol funang itol mo fulo le muneke wala ila mungi muto nata sabo munela foi be nata laba Mile 2.
They said they had a hand in 2006 coup.
ñina foko e fanal dabe 2006 ndur cham kudeta ñinto le même bayita.
So, but this,
Sorry, my apologies. Let me just ask before. Was Lang Tambong not part of the group of soldiers that were seated while you were made to confess your involvement in the 2006 coup?
Lantombo kabring ngi sojarol ngi muta sindi foi bete ñi kaka ngi kudeta la ko lantombo mantra ma beru ngi.
yeah, he was at the broadcasting on TV. He was sitting down there, yes, on that day.
Ibe kumolu fintindi ta kantumo mena pour que fintindi television to abe siri nje wutumo.
And years later, he was arrested and brought in and accused of being involved in the same coup that occurred in 2006, correct?
Wala sanji dantan kola ina atafana muta ka samana ka tumi ko atafana ndabe nungo kudeta bayri wala foka samba mile 2.
Yes.
Did you have anything to do with his case?
Sila atafana na ko efen soto ala ko kono.
Yes. When they were arrested,
Biri ye muta.
they put in mile 2.
Ye na mile 2.
Now the state needs witnesses.
Sai man sakunda nata sola sedolula.
But there was no where they can get witnesses.
E man sede soto no dulato.
And then we were invited, the 2006 March coup plotters.
Utumo le minatanteli sai kan kumandi 2006 March karo kono menu ye menu kala mi kudeta nyinanu.
That anybody who has anything to put these people connected to this March 21st, then you will go home.
Ko woto menu be bulo be nyin 2006 March karo kudeta nyin kono woto ni emari ya kutamandi nyinto ibe bulala le yesai.
Then we are going to be witnesses against Lantombo Ntamba.
Sai na tetel ke sedoti Lantombo Ntamba kama.
Then we are all invited to NIA.
Yembe kumandi kota ke NIA.
Then MA Ba said he has something. But he knew Lantombo Ntamba has some roles to play in March 21st.
Kaya long lodula dulu bije Lantombo Ntamba nyanta menu tamandela no March karo kudeta bayre nyento.
He spent 2 days with NIA.
Ay tilufula ke NIA je.
And afterwards said that he was released to go home.
Utumo le minata bula asaita.
And they promised to major and they put back into the armed forces again.
Ya jikindi ka ke major ti pour ka amrundi sojari abundala kotake.
And he went to testify against Lantombo.
Bitunga tata sede yaro ke Lantombo kama wotumole.
Then myself and Bunja Dabo,
Bitata nimbunja dabo.
we were asked to testify against Sajo,
Ya fo itel sede yaro ke Sajo kama.
which we refused.
Itelu balanta.
And then they promised us to be free if we do.
Yen jikindi ko ninga ke ibembula lale.
They compensate us,
Andu ibe bolo saila leke buluma
put
sai.
us back to the army again.
Andu kola ibe murundi la sojari ala kotake.
But we refused.
Bari balanta.
So there was this going to and fro with at the NIA.
Kadu nyintani na bekering ining katawa NIA.
At this point, who were the people asking you to incriminate Sajo Fofana?
Ni wato kono jumale ba afoka ngali purale ni Sajo nyi tumi.
At the beginning it was Ken Jeng, they call it Ken Jeng, DPP then.
Ko followed like a fine Ken Jeng, utuma telum DPP.
Is it Chengen?
Jeng or Ken Jeng, I don't know. I cannot pronounce the name, yes.
Chengen.
Okay.
And who else?
Ninjuma.
Then among them, the former Minister of Justice,
Fanang men naketa Minister of Justice.
Gomez.
Ikafa Gomez.
I don't know the first name, but it's Gomez.
Nyanata to follow la bari akontomu Gomez leti.
The next guy was Numo.
No, do kotengo ikafa Numo.
Okay, then the then secretary was used to call the
Sorry, what was Numo's
Numo, is it?
designation then?
I know he was head of the NIA, but I don't know the story name.
Numo atelum ngamira atelum NIA la nyaton koti wotumo
He was the DG of NIA at that time.
Exactly, yes.
Munda atelum NIA ha olem atelum NIA la nyaton koti.
Then the then Secretary General Njogu Ba was also called.
Wotumo member Secretary General yala Njogu Ba ya Frank Kumandi.
Lay the relation, the message to the HE then, yeah, Jamme.
Prasi kibaro nyufutandi nyaton president wa wotumo ya jamme.
We refused unless we are pardoned.
mbalanda nko ni mai yamfanya ntakela.
So whether you can accept a pardon or something, we can be witness against Sergio Fofana.
Wala mnyenti fasi song ay yamfanya okola nsina lo ka CDRO ke Sergio Fofana kama.
At this point, was there any form of evidence even against Sergio Fofana with respect to his involvement in the 2006 World Coup?
Sila wawato kuna fo CDRO bijiri miya lonko tonya wale atandi ko Sadio afana double ta 2006 coup d'etat bayri ngola.
Not to my knowledge, definitely.
Ani de mambo akalama tonya.
These individuals that were telling you to testify against Sergio Fofana.
Molu minube fokan atoli ko kali Sadio fanan tumi Sadia asifanan se bula fen ko mantoro kono.
Did you tell them that you don't know anything about his involvement in the coup?
Alia fo ile ko atol man fen long atengin Sadio la ngin da bulo la ko deta kono.
Yes, we told him clearly. I said, I have no knowledge about Sergio's involvement or Lanton Tamba in this my 21st coup. I don't know.
Nyina ko indima ko mam fem long Sergio Fofana la koto wala Lanton Bontamba la koto katara nyin match karo kudeta bayri ngoto.
So even after telling them that you knew nothing about his involvement, they still wanted you to incriminate him in the coup, correct?
Hani o nya alia senendi ma ko atol man fen long atela da bulo kudeta kono bare halbi hani fo bibe lorin pour Sadio ko ali nyin tumi rek.
Yes.
Did you agree to do so eventually?
Sila natna sonne ila
We never agreed.
Anintel nena man song wala.
I remember even the then Minister of Justice invited me to her ministry twice.
Utembo fa member minister la kitol ninting la karola. Sinyavula kan command ala minister bundala.
Were you at Mile 2 then?
Yes, I had two
Even
lunches
on
there.
Mile 2.
Mile 2. Well, I will go there for lunch, sit down there, had my drinks, talk good, give me some money to buy my cigarettes so that I can be convinced to join the wagon.
Utumambe Mile 2 bari kan command jele nkataje nsisije nsikontongo keje si kartol ning mimfengulu dinna si kodo fon fanandina nyimbe pour kantelu sondi dorong itel lafta men.
You were a prisoner at that time in Mile 2?
Yes.
wato ite mu prisoner le Mile 2.
Ade.
I just go to reception, change my clothes to civilian clothes.
Kata le reception to je nganna fengol du
And I escort.
nganna civilian fengol dum ene ay ñol yendanda.
To the office of the Minister of Justice?
Kata
Yes.
office of Minister of Justice la office of
Ade.
To discuss about incriminating a military officer?
alka kacha pour ka je ko kan ni momi alon ko sojaro lom ando officer lom ka isaje ka
In a coup plot?
Yes.
data bayro.
Were you the only one that was given this privilege of wearing civilian clothes and going over to the Minister of Justice to have a chat about incriminating an officer?
So for ite damal nyimbunya di ite damal la pour kanyi civilian fengo ditela ya dum ene dan for minister la korda kono kaje ko ye nyimotu mi alon ka dama bula coup d'etat ko.
No, I was with Bunja.
Hani nimbunja le no ngotumo.
I get thank you, Bunja Dabo.
Ngotumo nenga tela mbunja dabo.
And can you tell us what eventually happened?
Tela fo sa fo no mule mune natan la bang soto.
Yeah, when there was no agreement between you and them,
Bitin kambe mansuton to little tema.
one day I was just at Mile 2.
Lunkiling mbe Mile 2.
Before you move forward, you mentioned that the minister's last name was Gomez.
Gomez, yes.
Janni
Very in complexion guy. It was the only first name.
A kontong Gomez ha mo koyolem.
Then he was the Minister of Justice. Then changed with that name, Gomez.
Tuma telo Minister of Justice today Gomez.
Will it be Edu Gomez?
Edu Gomez.
Asekeno Edu Gomez.
Edu Gomez.
During that meeting with the Minister of Justice,
Silang kabringal be umitino ke kang nim di Minister of Justice.
were there any other individuals present?
Mo koten dolbe siringel bam minu be ma beringal law mitino.
2 boys from NIA as escorts were present.
mo fula meno kan dandang meno bota NIA wolu be sirin e nyala.
Can you recall their names?
Ise tofono.
No, I don't know them.
Ani melong.
Who else?
Ani juma.
Bunja Davo
Unjadavo.
and the minister himself. Those are the only guys in that.
Ni minister fango ni molda manem.
So no, you have his seat here, then you have just a table, round table just next to this seat. Then you leave that place and come and join us on that bigger table in his office.
Amunda sirando be karatanta wala ka sida me batutu modo e ka wuli o siran kanne yana si anyatilin to la tala tabulo be tilindi ndamenna.
You have sitting there chatting, have lunch together, and then over time even called the Secretary General in my own presence there.
Nka si jele na e ka cha kontongo fanan ka ki jele tumodolo aka Secretary General fongo commanding nyala je.
How many times did you make such trips to the office of the Minister of Justice?
Say ilo taje kata Minister of Justice so nata ke sinya jelle.
I went there twice.
Sinya fula.
Then I went to the NIA final one.
Na labang nyen tata NIA.
Where I met Numo also and his gang.
Na Numo fanan na la kafo mulu tara jele.
Among them, I recognize Pahari Jame was there.
Ulukono nga Pahari Jame suteje.
And there's heads of departments, I don't know them.
Aning nyen doku bunda nyatu nga kotongo bari maulu long.
Bora Koli was there on that day.
Bora Koli bijele ulungula.
I remember he gave me 2 packs of benzene on that day, I remember.
Olonga sika packet full din na benzene sikarto.
So always was there to give me the motivation, the encouragement, and then the values on the agreement with the, attached to the agreement with the government of the day then.
Nyimbe mu ferol ti dron pour kan sondi iteli lefta komen na pour inteli nyanta komen kela kanyim mari dundi nyimbe mu ferol leti pour kan inteli sondi wala.
And finally I told them now, what if you want me to allow me also to go home, as maybe I was left to go home without even going to testify yet, but you want me to testify while I'm in the prison and they promise all these mountains. You know.
Bulumna lung laba nata femuna na tembula la ngasai. Bari mbe kasola nyin kumolu men bebe fokante nyin kolu men bebe kekante CDRO kan par silante be kaso kono hanimbi.
They said those don't have that confidence to lose me, go and because I may escape in their hands and they lead to their problem too.
Iko ha bakato e manyin lanno soto pour ka katu nintel nata boje hanfon nata kana mborta bitung telefonal bedun na mantoro kono le.
So that was the final stage.
Bitung kolu danta woleto.
And did you eventually testify against Sajo Fofana?
Ila inatana laban ne ka CDRO di ka Sajo Fofana nyintumi.
Yes.
Ha.
One day I was in mile 2.
Yunkilimbe mile 2.
You mentioned that you testified against Sajo Fofana.
I testify in the case, not against, but in the case.
Kom mang Sajo tumi de bari nata CDRO ke kito nyinkono amanke ko nga Sajo le tumi.
Was the testimony true?
Sila wo CDRO nyinya tonyalo.
Yeah, it was.
Ah, tonya.
Did your testimony in any way incriminate Sajo Fofana?
Sila lo CDRO yiminde anatana Sajo kamara Sajo Fofana nya tumi nya do nya.
No.
Hani.
But he was more free this time.
Andu nyin silo fang ala fansoto fansoto.
You're telling us that you did testify, but you did not say what they wanted you to say.
Exactly, I went all against what they wanted me to say.
Yes, until it left and a memfo.
We had to leak out the conditions they put on table for me to put Sajo Fofana in trouble.
Labang fanga la ferolu wanyari laftantil nga Sajo Fofana nambara nyami.
So that gave more weight to Sajo Fofana, and then he went on appeal, he was discharged.
Wala fanga ta Sajo Fofana sembentu ya bring ay kiti sain kanke ina tabula.
This boy was motivated and then giving big promises to lie against this guy, and he said it openly in the court.
Betunga munta ya menno ham sembentu ya pour ye faniafo pour ka molu dundi wo bena take kuti men wanyarta woto.
Then he was released.
Otumole na tabula.
I was made to be a hostile witness. When there was no other way to say he has to satisfy, I put with hostile witness, and then he may give something that is valuable to the court. Then unfortunately we are on the wrong hand, on the wrong side.
amonte laftante kala sede jawolti num pour nga fem fo kiti bundala bari bitun sila nga na take filoti te la karola
I was made a hostile witness.
ya take sede jawolti num
That is a hostile witness against the state.
Exactly.
amonta wala ma ketabban ko fo la sede jawolta lota e bang tewnyafo
Was there
I remember Bunja even refused to enter the box. He said he's not going to enter the box.
bunja o fongo balanta la kate dunna ila box o kono wala mi la kiti
He
kuna
never entered that box.
anene mandu o kiti kuna o fongo kono
did you face any repercussions as a result of what you did?
silaite man na kolya ko ni soto kabrale nyin ko nyin keten kiti
Yeah, they thought it was a consequence for me, but that was a better consequence for me.
tele amera obakelante la bata daleti bari wonata ke ku kendo letinte
But they're moving from the security wing to the main yard.
ado yembondi o security wing la o karala o dula detering to yennati kaso kene banyinto
Though I lose the independence there,
bari woto de nantaram fambulo o tinyatale
but at least I had access to the TV, the news.
bari akata nyawnyandi insi tele jube insi kibaro fana lamoy
Yeah, that was better for me. And I was toilet inside. You can take bath anytime. You can go to the toilet anytime. Unlike the confinement.
nibe woto esitano yeku wati walla eta bantalo to wati wala fisiata yetara maburi ndula akeli to non confinement mbedun damento.
Can you tell us how you were eventually released from prison?
silam fay safuno muli natana nya labankal bula kaso bundato nyaadile
Yeah, it was 2015 in July.
Akata 2015 samala kono July karo kono.
On the 21st or 22nd July, yes.
July karo til muannim fulo.
When they were doing their normal celebration of July 22nd victory or coup d'etat.
Bribe July karo til muannim fulo coup d'etat juraro kekang.
I was not directly listening because then any program to the I don't even listen to it. I never listened to it.
Mbukalla moynu mfango tumo katu program ya jamela ko be men kono ndelu buka halla fi fanka wo moy wala ka jube.
We are playing cards or somewhere.
Ndelu be mariaso wolem cards le play kandulato.
And we heard a lot of noise, everybody screaming the same time running towards us.
Ngama kamba moy mulube wuri kan be buri kan kanan dolu kan.
And they came close to me, some of them started jumping on me.
Birina ta ifrata madolu boyta sawun na foi ka sapin kan.
Kebama, you are going home, Kebama, you are freed, just been announced,
Ka fanyeng kebama besailale kebama yali bulale. That means kebama means somebody elder.
It was unbelievable, definitely.
Akatanye kuti follow to malla kwala.
Immediately we disband the mariage we are playing, or the cards we are playing.
Ono to lenga na marias kato nying njanjanta ngabula.
So let's go and follow up the local languages, translation.
Nko to alingata lamoy kibaro la ni bafulan na banko kangluto.
But with curiosity, people come and explain to you the statement exactly used.
Bari bitun kumpo kama mol dol fonglu kana ka sata nye ye kuma kanglu menufo.
That all those who are accused of treason or coup d'etats or anybody had a problem with them directly, from that day to a particular date was mentioned, you are released.
Kafoko menube soron jamfa jawo kan aning menia lonko ye mutake tumi ke wesindije aningo molumen bebe mutoko no karola je ya foko kabunyi lunkari ye menu mutafoka tabula nyi lunkari yolu bebula lesai.
So you were pardoned by the president?
kamunda ko president fangole yam fatali
Exactly.
Ade, yeah.
During your incarceration and your detention at Malta,
ato minal be sorongola magankal sindi dulakiling Malta prison
were you allowed any family visitors?
e kasonne pour alla dimbaya nal kumpo
That was a privilege.
Mu kuleti me ya lonko yam fada balem wote nu.
Because though it's in the books,
Abe bukolu kono la de anyantale.
but something minor or difficult is just gonna one day say no visit.
Bari kundin wrong David Koli wulta lunkilin wrong akomote kumpa borla soto la jang.
Or they'll do their searching, some things found in some particular cell somewhere, then they say no visit.
Isi wuli ni tata minimino la kadulalu visite ni tata fenje dulato asafo kumpa borla tina jang.
Or their own guards will misbehave at the entrance with the visitors. They say use of that no visit.
Wala ifangol la kantar lalu is ika kumpa borla lu batandi bunda to je han fo nini ol bulata nyola isi kam fa ya fo motina jang kumpa boro
Sometimes it say 90 days, every 90 days, 30 minutes. Sometimes it's every 6 months, 30 days. So there was no regulation. Just do what you want to do as the boss.
ku lorinte kerin nu même mo nyaton koti men kadi yate akawla fo asa fotu modolu til tansaba minute tansaba kumpa boro wala ay wati do fo amunta men diata te dro akawla ta mandije.
We've already heard sufficient testimony about the food that was served to inmates at Maltu.
se di aro soto janni kinul mi along domoro mi along ko amang nyinya mi along ko ka di mol mi along ko be muto kono Maltu.
Can you just confirm that the food that was served to you was not up even for human consumption?
Fo so fanan to nyandi janni ka jokka tandi ko ngi kino ikal kamindi alla je manke kinit mi along ko abetiata pour hanama de ngo fonsa dom.
Definitely, food was too bad.
Tonya odomoro mambete ya freng.
Throughout your stay in Maltu, were you ever given any beddings or mosquito nets?
Netela taro be Maltu inene la rango dialelma.
Yes, after about 1 week, then they borrowed those things for us, bedding, mosquito net.
Lo kungilin ko la yol natile. Membe ko la mbe la menu kan ani sunkar ani sankewolu yol natile.
Can you tell us briefly about the impact of your detention on you and your family?
Ite nyimuto minkete bla munesabi ma ite fango kunkungo aning ila dimbaya.
It has an everlasting impact on me.
Nyimmuman toralti me ya lonko anenete bono lankang.
Because my best friend, I told you that I lost him during this. After barely 4 months, he also passed away.
Kato ntero lube mem ntero lube kunton koti mem mumfamati karna ni dorong abanta.
And then we are only 2 children of my mother, and the other one also, my eldest brother and the only brother also, I lost in mile 2.
Yo haketo muru kamba ila.
I said we are only 2 children.
Ndel dindi fula drone ba.
My mom.
Animbama.
For my mom.
Albama munta labaye mo fula drone soto.
Yeah, the other one also, the eldest, that's my elder brother also was gone during my castration.
And na umuto kono nkoto ma fanambanta otumole.
It was too boring for my mom, was going around trying to fend for those kids. Those 2 kids my elder brother left around.
Amunta ketamba mai kole abati pour kata minim ka murum pour ka odindim fulolu balundi nkoto e menno tuje.
But who anybody knew my mom then thought she was mad.
Dol fon lu men yemba ma long ya mira fo a sondo modun tanyotole.
The only child you have, one is gone, one is in mile 2.
Dingolu men ron soto do banta do be kasola mile 2.
And she has to struggle like a 18-year-old again after around then 90 years, almost 80, 90 years then.
Moment si obe sanji tansa kata sanji tankono ndo foye wule puruka minimenen ka kata puruka odindingulu balundi.
Then back to gardening, you know.
Amuruta na kodola.
It's too much. It was too tough, definitely.
Aketa kole abati ya wotumo.
And then my wife also had to go after 7 years of waiting.
Namso fanan saita bringa meta siring.
So a lot of breakdown, a lot of.
Amunta kujamale tinyata nundorong.
I think basically it's just an everything I cannot forget in my life, definitely.
Kulem nyinti meya lonko fajanni mfawu men latan kan nenete nyina no lala na baluwo kono.
Even the properties you have, people who go after them, well, like vultures, I don't know.
Ani nasoto fengulu molu wulte kama ke fufu ikamera ninduoye subukeroji.
That's avenging,
Munda duolu ka subukero.
It's too much. You cannot add all, but let's thank God that we are back. That's all.
Akoleata bari bitung ntabe kafunola nyonga bari nsi ala tentu wairimbe baluri.
Kindly tell us how you were reinstated back into the army.
Silang afumuli nate tanya dile doko wala koteke soja rubundato.
Yeah, we are in Senegal and in exile.
Ndena tanatu ta Senegal kabankobula.
Then when the present government, president head of state won the election.
Birin president member sirin birai carte fayo gagné.
He was sworn in Senegal.
ya kalindi Senegal be
So we organized a party we had a refugee association called Grts, Gambia Refugee Association in Senegal.
nga Gambia dinglu soto men ya lonko tumo iketa moluti menu banko bula be sirinje wo kafo.
We met him, I was the vice president.
Birim benda wairi mo kafo la president no lankoti.
We met him and then we greeted him.
Ntata ate president ya na nyo kontong.
And he invited us to a dinner.
Kata tele nkumandi pour ngata ma be si mangoto nati.
At the dinner table, we met Masane Kinte also.
O si mandula to jenni Masane Kinte fana nyoje woleto.
Then CDS.
Memo CDS tinu tumo.
Then the president asked who were. Then Masane explained to him all our roles. We were in the army before.
Bitu tumo lam president nyinin karo ke nyil mujuma nyoleti Masane Kinte ya be faye animbe menna num na lodula mentunu sojari ala karola.
He invited us. If you are interested in coming to serve your country, when I go back to Gambia, please come back and then we join hands and clean up.
Bitu tumo lang ay nyimbunya sa inka murundi mfanal kanje ko nin seita Gambia. Na li lafta alisi murunna nsali murundi sojari ya bundala albenu ndame.
Then I came back here in the February 2nd.
Nseita na njam February karo telefulo.
And we met him at the Senegal, Atlantic or the Senegal they call it somewhere.
Ntata tara Atlantic for Senegambia ka otembo na nyoje.
And he told my son, look at them, if you think they are still able to give out something and they can work with them, why not?
Otumola koma sana ejibe natara inisi doko keno wala sikuta mandino. We woto ngake onya.
In what mindset did you go back into the army with?
Langitini hamen sifanyari le tata sojar kunda doko.
I feel there's something wrong in the armed forces up to that time.
Najeko fenne mantara kube sojari ya bundala memman tembenu otumo.
So I feel my coming there may be a lesson for people to learn.
Na muruna oje ngamera asike doliye karangoti bensi bondi kolu kalama.
What I've gone through like this,
Ndunta kome mkono teng.
if I can work within the same armed forces,
Ninsina muru kado koke o sojari ya bunda kilingoto.
looking them, meeting them, the torturers,
Lingolu menu keta o tajire ulutinu niolu kana nyoje.
and still we laughed, mind dying together, wine dying together.
Nkasi nkajele nika domoro kenyo kang.
I think they can be listening to the young soldiers.
Ngamera otosela molnanta sojari funding ke ulfana lamoy dale.
That everything is possible.
Ko kundin se kenole.
Yes, so just that's what I want to show the military.
Mlefto le itandila sojarolla.
Yes.
That's lesson of forgiveness, correct?
Yes.
Olem yam 40 yako ha.
Mr. Chairman, that will be all from me for the witness.
Thank you very much, Counsel, and thank you, Mr. Dabo, for going to testify before the Commission.
Bake council barka bake sedo inata nyamen kana sediaro dimi alon ko petata bake.
I have two quick points before turning to the commissioners if they have any questions to ask you.
Kuma fulale bembulun jandin commissioner solba nyinin karo kala nabe bulo.
I just want you to confirm in very, very strong terms that on two occasions, you and Bunja Dabo, in civilian outfits, civilian clothes, left them at the prison, went to see the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, who attempted, as you implied, to bribe you with cigarettes, drinks, and the money to implicate or incriminate somebody who was being detained and tried.
Yes, that is the truth. That's the truth. If they can.
Two occasions.
Two occasions. We have their diaries for those 2010. If they have their entries and then our diary, they will see it there. If the
chairman nyina foko nyimuku lafta nyin sinandi ku bambandi nasilola ko sinya fula minister me marta tilimu nin kito la telefona mu attorney general ti wotumo kali kumandi pour kali duko si karto nin min fengol nin domorol la pour aliemo dundi man toro kono me yalon ko tuma te fambe muto kono be kasola.
Yes, I said this is true.
Akoto nyala.
If we can look at these diaries,
Ninsi o diary o lije bukolu kulu kasafe mennu keno funto ni ndungo.
you'll see it completely there.
Abebe tar la safari.
But this is not the first time I mentioned this thing.
Andu nyimanke sinya folo de famo nanyulu fo.
I wrote a story in our magazine, Ahua.
Nga ku kibar safe sojaro la bukoto kafome Ahua.
The first year I came out.
Sam folo mem findi.
I joined the armed forces, but he joined the armed forces.
Birin saita sojari ala sam folo me.
And because of this particular area, the former CDS said, no, you cannot name people like this in such important areas.
Katu membe no CDS ya la nyum foko nyinkola ko Kenya kama ite molu tolu fono la nyim fanna fasongola.
I said, I want to prove that I'm right. I want them to challenge me in courts, in everywhere, that I mentioned their names, that I'm sure I can prove it and I so it's right. That's why I'm not afraid of anything.
Akaka yanko ha lefta tonyale sabatindila. Lahani kiti bunda la lefta tonyale sabatindila kadu. Ntemang tanake andu man sila momondina menketa lefto le banke la pour ayake kuti moli semen fahamu katu tonyale.
He said they cannot produce that in Ahua because you can create a problem.
Akoete o fentindo no la sojaro la kibar kaito bala Ahua katu asikole ya sabu no.
One of the editors one of the editors who can give his name, invite him and ask him privately, tell you, yes, Masana syndicate is going to be published because these are top ranking people whose names are mentioned, Joguba, Gomez, and these things that may create complications. I say I want to be called in the courts.
Ko hani menka o kibar kaito la kibaru lukumbenu nsala nomba dino andum fanang molu ko Joguba, Gomez wulbe mu molleti men ya lon ko ay bota kala ma ya fama ko bari CDS masane kinte ko nyinte safeno la katu nyin sikeno le kuti men sina ko le ado sabu.
And on both occasions you felt that you were being bribed by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice?
Ndungi sila fulul be fonga yaje ko nying minister nying aning Attorney General be duku kanne pour tolo ite to bela flete minke tolia.
Yes, because we are allowed by them. Themselves say these are not allowed in mile 2. But now then, as anybody, I come to mile 2 with cigarettes in my hand, money in my pocket, I enter. Nobody goes. Even the NI who are escorting me will be told, don't nobody searches him, let him get in.
Wonye mukule time ya lon ko kusoto lon kato tumo hani sikarto mile 2 mo na buka dunje bari nin tata nimbinala hani ena ewlu men fanglu kandandang ika fo na ala bula kodo katara la jifo kono ala sikarto katara bulu ando ana kadun kasola.
And the NIA individuals who were escorting you to the Minister of Justice's office, did you give them any money?
Lani NIA dokula minul be dan prison dokula minul ke dan minister la cordado NIA dokula say ngo kodo ite min soto ikar fendi le ba.
No, I needed it more than they needed it then.
Aniko kadundele sulata o kodo la katambi itulula sulola.
Well, yeah, I just want to know whether or not you took something from them.
No.
Fine. The second point is, were you present when Abdul Karim confronted Sergio Fofana about that mysterious telephone call during the trial?
Silang nyinin kar flanjango ite kabiring Abdul Karim nyinin kakang Sergio Fofana nyin telephone commandero nyin ibenu ngele ma betanu ngele.
Yeah, I was there. It was in number 4. When we were outside, normally we sit on the bench, we debate.
Mbijele mbesiri mbanta number 4 utumo nkasi sira njango kanje nkakacha nkakulu kacha nyote manda mangulu.
The issue came in.
Akonyi mfota jele.
Then Sergio was trying to downplay that he was not pushed or forced to do some of these things.
Andu njelo msajo ba kataka nka itandiko nyinkolu momate force moma dunga da moma bula ala fanang.
Then Abdul Karim got angry.
Andu Abdul Karim kamfata utumo.
They went out of control together and even insults were coming there, a lot of things, and then we have to separate them. That you don't come here and tell us this stupid thing after doing all you do like this, and you come and then tell us stories.
Kamfata andu hanufo ala kuo ay bulufasi hanufo nendirolu keta anu fo utumo le famu nga feroke puruka imutanyi kamala kana futa nyoma bari aketa kuleti no
the officers have to intervene and separate them there.
Yo official wole mnyaat menu bije wole fonle dabula je ke bonyola.
But Fofana did not disclose the person he was speaking to on the phone.
Fofana man na nyimoto wanyare ani mimbe nundia mola nung telefonoto.
No, he will never accept. He thought that he was doing his job.
Nende sonna wala katrate amera kwa bala do kule keka.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, if you have any questions, Deputy Chair, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, witness. Actually, they are very short. One is, both are in relation to your health. What is the state of your eye just now?
Yeah, still the left eye cannot go beyond 25 meters. The right eye is okay, but the left eye, in fact, the victim center had to buy me this specs I'm using now, $13,000 is just last month ago.
Hanimbi maranya. Meter muani lulu nyato mbuka waje mbulu banya de alhamdulillah obebetarin. In fact 13 victim center mantoro boyta men nukang ila kordanyi wolle fonle nying luneto sanye mini wuli tan nin saba.
Yeah, I optic they bought for me last time. So
yeah,
if I'm reading or writing or using the computer, that's what I use.
Nimbe safirola wala mbe karankang wala mbe computer nyatilingula nkanyi luneto le dum.
The other one is in relation to when you were winked up and the bag was dropped. Do you have any injuries to your back?
He used to have very serious pain, but thank God, all of a sudden, I thank God I thank him too. He did well, definitely, for us, massaging continuously, buying this, the ungalam and other things for us. Or she about he helped a lot, definitely. As of now, I'm not feeling pain there, definitely.
Otumo akandiminde nunde barbitung alfseni jamme mba numbarala mbe konton namba tentula katu ayakata kendeke akasi tulo sannung ateleka mbalo nyabu andunga kanko fana nyabunu wonata kenya mako irbati wala namba tentula hanfo saying alhamdulillah mbuka dimingo buka maje.
Thank you.
Inumbara.
Sorry. If there are no further questions, Mr. Dabo, if you have any final remarks to make, please proceed to make them now.
Nin kuma kan ginyini karate kere commissioner sol bulu woto sangi bundangi sendi tema sedo nin kuma kan be bulu be min dila diamota wonna minna isa commencer.
I thank God.
And
then I also thank the Trrc.
TRRC fana numbarala.
From the chairman.
Kabo chairman.
To the last participating or last member.
Kata anfo mo labang la menu bedo ko la jang.
And then the press around us here.
Anin kibar tala lu menu bijang.
Everybody present here.
Anin memmen dim bijang.
My families.
Mfongola dimbaya lu.
And the whole Gambia as a whole.
Anin Gambia mume obe.
For allowing the Trrc
to
look into these awesome, doings. Because this is the right time people will understand what happened in this country. And there also be lessons for us to learn, we want to learn. That whatever you do, you'll account for it one day. The names I'm calling here, on those days, they were kings, queens. But here they are today, you don't even your name to be mentioned. Your son, daughter, families will hate you because of your doings. I think it's right time people to learn lessons. He said only a fool learn from his own mistake. The wise men will learn from somebody's mistake. So I think this is a time for us to learn. Yeah, so I want everybody to have something from this TRC, not just to be looking at it and then enjoy the tortures, the bad and the English, good English, and all those things that's happening here.
Laftale mo be fenkaranti RRC anin tajire yalu menu keta ya long amanke ko kumakang angale kandima lu nin kumakang lu menu kafo janga e dango dam manade bar mulu nyanta katala ye fenkarang jang ko lu menu keta.
And the next thing is the Gambian attitude also when you are in a problem.
Fulanjang Walan Gambian kulu ma nyati ni maribe ku ko lengo kon.
I think this needs to be addressed.
Ngamira wo kunyanta kelale wo kola karo.
Also should learn to understand that when somebody in a problem doesn't mean the end of his or her life.
Molu sa kata ye nyillonko ni modo dunta ku ko lengo kono. Ala balo te dan na woto de.
I've been listening to all these, almost all the witnesses here.
Andu sedo lumenu nata janga faida hana manka beti baringa jamali la moy.
Most of them are my line is taken. I was in mile 2.
Most of them are?
My line is taken, this is taken when I was in.
Jamai nyim foko ye nanyim banku keno lutaye na fengo lutaye nyin ken na birimbe mile 2.
Including myself.
Katabula mfangola.
So the problem is somebody is in problem, you want to grab whatever he has, because he's not coming out anymore. Should not be the thing of the Gambians.
Ako ka foko mobe manto mobe muto kono abede ngo kono wairi ya muta. Molu manya na otala ka ke dalilo ti pour kala fenglu nyapin kan keta.
As a good Muslim or a good Christian, you want to help that guy to get out of the problem is better.
Ni mu muslime kendo ti mu Christian kendo ti nyanta o mari mako ilale asibo kole ya kono nyami.
So this is food for thought. Those who are concerned, they know themselves.
Ni mu karaneti molu men nyanta men mirala. Bitung menu yake fanan isi mirala.
This one is an appeal to the CRC.
When I
listened to one general from the American chief of staff yesterday as an audio. American general. Like their motto is, this we shall defend.
Akoela sando munyineti we shall defend wolem
this we shall defend
wolem nying mba kantalale
and this stand for the constitution
adu wolem
that this stand for constitution
andu kallo bankola constitution banko sambaran sarto.
So I think in like when we are swearing in our military or other services,
wala na nimbenna kalindiro kala mobe dunna sojariala wala bunda kotangola kalindiro tumo
go for about 4 or 5 oaths they will take.
Asita fo kalindiro façon nani fo lulu fongo kamenke
out of office
la kaliwo
out of secrecy
kullo mabo la kaliwo
to the country
anim banko la kaliwo
to the president
la kaliwo.
Why not that ought to the protect the country and that's all. Belong to the country and then we've edited the constitution, that's all.
Munana ibeo kali obekela ngamira nyimbe kanya nale ye kali banko la ko kama anin constitution o memu banko sambaranti.
I think some are misinterpreting this loyalty to the president or to the government by abusing or misusing them again.
Dolu kanyin kali o menke ka fombe tilin na president we wala mansakunda molu kana wala ka sabu dolu kana muru ikatinyaro luke kanyanta tinyaluke.
Yeah, I think the oath should always stop at the swearing to defend that constitution of the Gambia, full stop.
Ngamira kali o nyanta danna nyinela banko sambaran sarto kallo pour ka o kanta ka tankandi anyanta danna wala.
The oath of secrecy is in.
O katu kullo kali o be o kono.
Protect your country is in.
That
protect is in.
Sorry?
That president will be protected. That president will be protected. It's only in their country. So why all these things? So let's try to minimize this, and I think that's better. Yeah, finally, I just want to thank everybody once more again. Whatever time you give me to listen to me, allow me to be heard. And from my mom, my wife, my kids, family members. So I thank everybody. And may God help us out. Thank you.
Thank you. Allah baraka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo, for your testimony again. And I'm sorry you had to endure such gruesome torture at the hands of the NIA, agents of the state. And the junglers as well. But again, we really want to thank you for coming to share with us your the abuses and the violations of your human rights.
Mbe numbar la kotake isonta purukana ni yedeng londo la men keta koluti ye janta tinyalu menu lekang ye mantoro lu menu lekang watu me bo muto kono nge jay wala fanan.
Thank you for your testimony.
Numbara ila sede arokan.
This brings us again to the end of the proceedings today. We will meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.